What up? What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Oh, yeah. Okay, subs on. Okay, we locked in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's her, but it wasn't like that back when I met her. The lavish life from all the dough spun. Before the double R had to hitchhike them. Her friends didn't like niggas like us, but I rested the coochie and their feelings got cuffed. Spiderweb sex must have got caught up, but there's more to it. I remember once saying less shit on the peons. Let's go to Vegas and watch Celine Dion. Make them say, well, we on. What up, what up? Fuck it, I just hum and let the watch give off the neons. When it rains, it pours. I laugh to myself when I change the score. You said my sex was a lot, but my brain gave you more. It's something about how your ex was a toy. I guess he played games. It's only diamond dice here, not trying to justify. But when you shut your eye, you can touch the sky. You in trouble, ma. You should pray about speed. But if it's about you, they say about me. Diddy called out the hit on Tupac. What that mean? What up, villain? How y'all doing, man? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. What up? What up? What up, everybody? What up, YouTubes? What up, Ticky Tax? What's good with it, man? What's good with it? We in this thing finally. Had to take a day off, but we bike. Take a day off, but we bike. Back like we never left. I technically didn't because I did it. I did go live early Saturday morning. I was live early Saturday morning, technically. But, you know, we're not gonna count that. We're not gonna count that at all. Mm-hmm. We got to talk about the war on child support. Yeah, I've been going through some things. I've been going through some things. You hear my voice is gone. That's from the lack of sleep. Last night, so yesterday we had a birthday party for my son. Like I told y'all, it was my son's birthday party, 12 years old. And my wife did a great job. She, we had everything. Everything was perfect, right? And then after the party, we went to my youngest son's soccer game. Like my family came to his soccer, like people pretty much like half the party went to my son's soccer game. And then we all went back to my house. So man, was we up. CJ Payne. Oh man, yeah. So it was funny, but it was a lot. And it was 5 kids in the house. It was 5 fucking kids in the house. It was a trip. And they was acting like 5 kids. So that was annoying. But yeah, it was fun though. We had good times. Good times. That was a function. An all-day affair. Yep. It was wicked work. But I went to sleep at like 9. I went to sleep at like 10, maybe. I think I went to sleep around 10. Got good. Was getting some good sleep. 3:30 in the morning. I don't even know how it happened. I woke up. I thought I woke up on GP. But I woke up. I flung my covers off of me. I don't know what the hell. It just happened like so fast. And I sat up and my son was at the edge of the bed talking to me. And I was like, nigga. He's like, Dad, I haven't been able to sleep for like 2 hours. I'm like, come on, bro. What up, Steph? Come on, family. Mm-hmm. I see you, man. So yeah, I didn't even get my full sleep in last night. That was wicked. It was a wicked time. I see TikTok playing with me. It's all good. Early. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's me, man. Let me stop blaming everybody. Maybe it's me. We often think that, but they don't, they don't be showing up a lot of the time. So we'll see. But yeah. So first thing I want to do is, y'all know how I like to do it. I like to give you guys a reference point for what we're talking about if I can. Because I'm sure some people are going to be like, what? What do you mean? Hold on, give me 1 second. Why is it not? Why hasn't? Oh my God. It was sinking and then it just stopped sinking. Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a little reference point for what I'm talking about, and then we'll get into it. I'm gonna have to probably play it a couple more times. Hopefully, my YouTube people can hear it. I don't think they can though. I'm gonna have to play it twice. I'm gonna play it twice. No worries. Don't worry about it. All along the Western Front, people lying to this. Oh, it's already in here. Okay. It wasn't in here a while ago. All right. So my audio is low. My sound is muffled. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me better now? Nope. Okay, hold on. Let me go out and come back. Telling you, man, TikTok they be doing everything they can at this point. Very weird. Very weird. Very strange. All right, let's see if that works. Is that better, y'all? Is that better, y'all? Is that better? Y'all hit me with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And it is that. Okay. Yeah, see, it was the app. The app was wilding. I was wondering what was going on. Okay. This app is crazy. Okay. We in here now though. Okay. We got it. All right. So, like I was saying, now I come across a lot of content about like child support and just like men just being upset about child support and their feelings on child support and why they shouldn't pay it, and things of that nature. And it just sounds, it's just weird. It's just like a weird, it's disturbing, the things that I hear. But they put all of this energy into rationalizing why we shouldn't pay child support as opposed to just paying child support. Like just pay the shit. You know what I'm saying? Or figure it out before you have the kid. You know what I mean? Like don't have the kid, maybe practice safer sex or whatever the case may be. But once that baby is here, I mean, somebody got to pay for it, you know? And I think that like you can clearly see that most the men who talk about child support negatively, they don't really have like a real reason why they shouldn't pay it, and they don't really have they don't have a plan like to replace it. They don't fight for the right stuff, right? So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys heard this, but I wanted to talk about this or play this because this kind of articulates or encapsulates that. So let me go to that thing. We're gonna go to screen share. Go to my photo shares. Okay.
with child support, I think the solution is this, and I'm out your way. 2 years. Young woman gets pregnant as a teenager, young man and woman get pregnant. This is the 2-year plan. First 2 years are debt-free. You don't have to pay the government anything back. So she doesn't get to drag him into court and the court doesn't say, you owe us money for investing in your child through food programs, through early Head Start programs. Because in those 2 years, the boy has the option, or not even the option, he has the demand of the co-man to then go to a trade school. You have to go to a trade school, which incentivizes the United States to do it because we need more tradespeople.
He's already starting off on some weird shit, because why are we talking about little boys having babies with little girls? Like, that's not the you know what I mean? Like, why are we not starting with the people, like the largest group of people who have babies, which aren't fucking 17, 19 and 20-year-old people. They're you know what I mean? Like, they're older than that. They're closer to 30. They're closer to 30. He talking about little kids and shit. Like, so he just off the bat, you can see how he's trying to like do this like weird, I don't know. He's already just talking about a weird group of people just so he can make this weird point, right? Because if he says that they should go to trade schools, they should be forced to go to trade schools. Yeah, that's like, you can say that to somebody that, and I'm not even saying you can't say that, but I'm saying it makes more sense if it's a child and you're like, go to trade school or whatever the case may be. But it's dumb. You can't say that if the person is 26, 27, 28, which that's the average age of a person that has a child. You see what I'm saying? So he's just trying to make it like this thing where it's like, oh, if you have a kid, you should be forced to go to a trade school. No. What if I don't want to go to a trade school? What if I want to go to college? Why are you automatically knocking me down a notch? Limiting my, the education that will be available to me. You're going to fight for trade school? Why wouldn't you just fight for college for all? Right? Why wouldn't you just make college be free for everybody? And then that way more people will go to college, right? Trade school. I'm so sick of y'all talking about fucking trade school. Fuck out of here. I have nothing against trade school, but acting like trade school is the end all be all is nuts. It's not.
We don't have enough carpenters. We don't have enough electricians. We don't have enough people building roads. In my community, the girls are going to college and graduating. They have no men to marry because the boys are not going to college in the same way. My teachers were married to a tradesman. My teacher, who we call doctor, her husband owned a locksmith company. Her husband was a carpenter, was a mechanic. So they had a good life. Their kids went to school, right, the same schools we went to. I think that the incentive to solving the child support problem and a part of solving our infrastructure problem is to incentivize young boys who have gotten a girl pregnant. You must now go through 2 years.
The child support problem is men being unwilling to pay child support. That's the child support. Acting like it's something outside of that is funny to me. That's the problem. Men are unwilling to pay child support. That's it.
Trade school.
Oh, wait a minute. So, okay, yes, let me
give you the rest of the answer.
Okay, go ahead.
After that boy graduates, you get a further incentive if you and the girl marry. If you and the girl marry, we'll give you these incentives: zero finance home loans, something out of HUD besides an apartment with a leaky faucet and rats and roaches in it, but incentivize marriage, which then strengthens our community, the Black community, and strengthens the greater community, because now you have more American marriages, you have people with stronger financial stability, and you have tradespeople married to women of education, and you begin to recreate communities like what Auburn Avenue was, what Edgewood was. I believe you could do this from the executive order, because the money that funnels down from the feds through the states to help mothers, then it can be attached. Well, we're not only helping mothers, we're helping fathers too. If a boy gets a woman pregnant, not only does she receive TANF, I see your face, right? Good idea. If a woman receives TANF, she receives this, the boy now has a must. You're federally required now to go to trade school. And in those 2 years, what you put out on the other side is a person who's trained, a person who has an incentive to marry, and a person.
How old are they?
No. No, absolutely not. That's not what would happen. He blabbed about that for 3 whole minutes and more. He said more, but that was the gist of it. And still got it wrong. He still got it wrong. Like that's Killer Mike, man. Y'all doing all of this blabbing about child support. Look, man, look. Yeah, make trade schools free. Make college free. How about that? Make housing free. Make food free. How about that? Let's see what that does. Let's see what that does. Make healthcare free. Make healthcare free. Make housing free. Make food free. Make education free. That'll solve the problem. Like, you want an actual cure to the problem, or you want to create more problems? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to create more problems, or you want to actually cure the problem? That's what I want to know. Yeah, that was Killer Mike. But I'm just using Killer Mike because I'm just using Killer Mike as a reference point, because a lot of men say stupid shit like Killer Mike. He's, you know what I mean? He just has a voice to say it, right? But a lot of men say that dumb shit. Like, they say everything but we need to just pay child support. Everything but we need to avoid having babies altogether, if that's the case, you know, whatever the case may be. They say everything but maybe I need to learn how to be an equal partner in the relationship. That way the woman that I had a child with won't feel like I would rather struggle on my own than be with you. Like, all of these things are better. You know what I'm saying? All of these things are better solutions to the problem. But instead it's, oh, we need to trap men. We need to trap women into marriages with men who don't even want to marry them. They're just marrying them so they can get a HUD house the size of an apartment with roaches and rats in it, and get access to going to a trade school. Like, that can't be your solution. Right? That can't be your solution. That's crazy. That's crazy. That can't be it. It has to be something else. Trade school to offset child abandonment? That's not what's going on, Killer Mike. 20% of divorced men abandon their kids. They're not like married people. They make more money. I'm just saying. So the average married man makes more money than the man that's not married, and he abandons his kids. A lot of the time, most of those men don't pay child support either. So I'm not. What the fuck is going on? What are you talking about? How would that actually solve the problem? Because the problem with paying child support is not rooted in money. That's not what it is. That's not that. I'm not saying that has no bearing on the situation. I'm just saying, if you wanted to pinpoint the problem, that wouldn't be it. Like, that's not the problem. That men are like, oh, we don't have no money. Like, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not the end all be all. That's what I'm saying. And then you had this man saying this, right? Then you had your boy This is why I don't want to hear y'all talking about solutions. Y'all don't care about solutions. Y'all would listen to these idiots and think that they got the solution to the problem. They don't got no fucking solution. They just saying the stuff you want them to hear.
Big Slim for president 2024. Biden dropped out. No more mandatory child support. No more child support. Child support is over. I bet they stopped having all them kids now. And that motherfucking child support. I bet it be one baby born every motherfucking year. It's gonna be one like on Lion King. They hold up. One motherfucking baby a year, you in that goddamn child support on these. Yeah, man. Bet y'all don't fuck all these and have babies by these randoms like y'all doing. Bet y'all pay attention to who y'all have babies for you in that child support. Yeah, that's the only way we're gonna bring real love back, fellas. We gotta take the money out of this shit, because that's all they want, kid. Slim Thug for president 2024.
So he's making the claim that all the women want is money from the men. As if all he wants from the woman is, as if he's acting like he doesn't just want a woman's body. It's crazy. That was Slim Thug. So, and I've heard other videos. I just pulled those two because I feel like those were like the two biggest, you know what I'm saying? Make the most, they got the loudest voices. But do you hear what the men, like what men are saying? Like, gentlemen, we're not all right, man. We're not okay. That's crazy. You think you think abolishing child support? Look, let me ask y'all this. How did we have more or less kids before child support was established? Because Slim Thug just said, I bet if we take away child support, y'all gonna stop having babies. It's gonna be one baby born a year and all this stupid shit. Okay. Did we have more kids before child support was invented or less kids? Oh, we had more kids before child support was invented. Okay. So we know that that's not the case. Try again, Slim Thug. No, we had more kids. Way more kids. We had way more kids. Nah, it wasn't even close. We had way more kids before child support was a thing. He said, I bet you, as if, because Slim Thug is acting like people are just having babies with random people. That's how you know he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. The people are having babies with men and women. Women are having babies with men in committed relationships. And then the men end up being shitty people. That's what happens. I'm just going to give you to you, like, I'm just going to break it down like simple, right? A man and a woman have a baby. Men and women have a child. And then the solution, I'm sorry, men and women have a child together. They're in a committed relationship. They're living together. And then what happens? Oh, the dude just fucking turns into a shitty person, or he stops masking or whatever. He becomes violent while she's pregnant and then she leaves him. That's what happens like the vast majority of the time. So how's that going to stop having smacks with randoms? AJ, you could come up. I know you won't because you a scary ass weird nigga. But I'm going to mute you for the live because you don't be having nothing to add. Talking about my solution is crack pipes for everybody. Shut the hell up. Y'all so dumb. Y'all can't understand. Here's why. Here's another reason why I don't like. It's hard to talk politics with men because men are so uneducated when it comes to politics. And on top of that, men are also extremely unempathetic. So when you couple that and you try to have a conversation with a group of people who don't care about anybody else besides themselves and don't understand shit about politics, it's crazy. I might as well talk. My 8-year-old understands politics better than somebody like Jay does. My 8-year-old gets politics. Like he understands yeah, we got to, like, everybody deserves somewhere to live. You know what I'm saying? Like even my 8-year-old son feels like that. Or he's like, yeah, he's like, damn, man, I feel bad, Dad. Bell Arts. Men are uneducated in general, but especially when it comes to politics. Men are uneducated in general, especially when it comes to politics. You can come up, though. I'm going to mute you, though, because y'all don't be having nothing to say in them comments. Men are uneducated. I'm going to say it again for the people in back. Men are uneducated in general, but extremely uneducated when it comes to politics. Like, that's something that most men don't understand at all. They don't get politics at all. Oh no, you declined to come up? Okay. You can get muted for the live too. We muting. It's a mutiny. We muting everybody. Y'all not about to be in the comments saying weird shit all day. Y'all not about to be able to hide in the comments. You can come up and have a conversation, or you can go somewhere else. We muting them. I don't block y'all. I just mute you. But anyways, yeah, men don't understand politics, and men don't understand and men don't have empathy. Lack of education, lack of empathy. Boom, there we go. Because what Jay was referring to when he said that I said give everybody crack pipes. Yeah, I said we should legalize smugs. Don't criminalize smugs. We should legalize it and offer people health care. Everybody should have health care, but definitely somebody that has a drug addiction, give them health care and give them access to clean pipes because they're going to smoke it anyway. So why not make it safer? Why not give them needles? They're going to use anyway. You want to get rid of hepatitis? You want to get rid of HIV spread in the drug people user community? Give them access to clean needles. Give them access to clean pipes. Like they're gonna do it anyway. Of course you don't. If you don't agree, you just don't know what you're talking about. Like this is not even debatable. This is not up for your discussion. If you don't agree, you don't know what you're talking about. This is common. This is A, common sense, and B, this is proven. This is common sense. If you have empathy, this is common sense. This is easy. And B, no, you don't have to agree with me, but you should agree with facts. You don't have to agree with me because I don't agree with me. I'm not agreeing with myself. I'm agreeing with the facts, with the studies that prove this. That's not me. That's not I'm just making this up. But it's fucking common sense though too. It's like they're going to do it. They're going to use. I don't know where y'all grew up, how you grew up, right? I grew up in the 80s and 90s in the midst of drug use, right? I would say you don't deter a crackhead from doing crack by here's what I'm saying. If you take away money from crackheads, they just steal so they can do drugs. See what I'm saying? All you did was make it harder for them to do drugs. That's all you did. They're still going to do it though. You have made a situation to where it creates more desperation. So now they have to do something to get their fix because they're going to do it anyway. Right? Okay, cool. So imagine in a world where you provided smugs for everybody. You didn't make them buy it. You said you can get as much as you want. You got to come here to get it. You got to come to this government building and get it or whatever, but we'll give it to you. Well, you can smoke it inside of here in a safe place and all of this stuff. And guess what? When you come in here, we're going to talk to you. We're going to have programs here. We're going to give you health care if you need it. We're going to give you mental health care if you need it. All of that stuff. It ain't just a government dope house. No. We're going to give you all the things you need to get better. You're saying, no, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. You think that that's not the approach? You think if you don't, you think by not doing that, you're going to stop people from doing drugs? Isn't that what we have right now? Are we stopping people from doing drugs? No. So we already know the answer to that. We already know the answer to that is no, right? So that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. This is common sense. We already live in a restrictive government, a restrictive culture, right? And we make things taboo that shouldn't be taboo, like SMEX. We make SMEX taboo. We make smugs taboo. We make welfare taboo. Only in America is welfare taboo. Only in America are people shamed for being on welfare. Only in America. Only, I promise you, in every other country where welfare is expected of their government. You go to Sweden, they get welfare. You think the Swedes are like, oh, he's on welfare. Like, no, everybody it's perfectly normal. That's what the government is supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be giving me welfare. That's the government. They work for me. I don't work for them. In America, It's taboo to be on welfare. It's taboo to go pay for your groceries with one of those yellow cards or what, I don't know what color they are anymore, but you know, the debit cards or whatever. It's taboo. You used to be embarrassed to pay for your lunch with lunch tickets, remember? Oh, that's a perfect example. They socialized in my state, in California. A lot of y'all states, they didn't do this, but in my state, they socialized food in schools, right? So now you get free breakfast, free lunch, no tickets anymore. Nobody has to pay for anything. Remember how taboo it was to have lunch tickets back in the day? I got lunch tickets. I made it into like a joke though, right? To not be embarrassed by it. When they would call your name, because they would call your name on the first or second day of school, they would be like, "Hayes, come down, get your lunch," you know, and they would call out everybody's names. And then, you know, I used to jump up like I fucking won in Willy Wonka and shit. And I'd be like, "Woo, I got lunch tickets. Woo!" Like, that's how I would do it, right? So, because I was embarrassed, right? But why would I be embarrassed to get, like, I didn't do anything wrong. Why would I be embarrassed? I remember going to the store and having the colorful book of food stamps, and you paid for it. And I remember that being embarrassed. You used to have to rip the food stamps out the book. I remember that shit. Got to rip them out the book, and then, you know, the dollar bills was brown and the $5 was red, and I remember doing that stuff. Yeah, that was embarrassing back then. It's taboo. Why though? What did I do? I only in America is this stuff taboo. It's weird. Super strange. Super strange. Unbreakable was good. Hold on. Let me fix mine. Okay, there we go. You good? All right, I'm listening.
All right, so I see that you're a very educated man, and the reason why I came up is because I want to get an understanding. So I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you feel like if you give them needles and make it safer for them, do you feel like they are then going to turn around and be like, well, they're encouraging me to do this. They're giving me the needle, so I'm just going to keep just doing the drugs. How do you feel about that?
That's not how it works. It's not even how I feel about it. That's just not how it works. The more you make things taboo, the more people want to do them. The more you push stuff to the fringes of society, the more people are like, I wonder what's that over there, right? So no, that's not what happens. That's what I'm saying. That's not my opinion. That's literally like that's just not what happens, right? You can go read about it. They did this in Seattle. They legalized smugs in Portugal. All the use numbers decline. The disease declines, all of that stuff declines. All of it does. I bet right now, and I haven't done this, I haven't looked this up. I have not looked this up. But I will all but guarantee in California and in states where they legalize marijuana, I bet you marijuana consumption has gone down for like younger groups of people. I bet you less young people smoke it now. I bet money.
No. That's not true, Pop. Actually, in my state, there's been studies that shows that it actually has increased. More people are actually smoking marijuana in my state. I don't know about other states.
I said, hold on. I think you missed what I said. I didn't say more people, because I get more adults doing it because they removed it being illegal. I said more chill. I said, I bet, because it's fine if more adults do it. I don't care, right? I was talking about children, right? I'm saying, I bet. Because I haven't looked this up. I could be wrong about this. I'm just saying, I typically know how these things work. If you look it up, like specifically for like the demographic of kids between like, I don't know, 10 and 15 or whatever, whatever you want to do, I bet anything that they do less marijuana now than they did in my day as a millennial. Okay.
Alyssa, what are you talking about? People up there gotta calm down. I'm just having a conversation.
Unbreakable. It's okay. It's okay. I feel like you're fine. So don't worry about the comments. You're good with me. But yeah, Joe, no, you said you disagree with that. Why do you disagree with that?
Well, in as far as weed, you mean weed or just?
Yeah, I'm talking about marijuana. Introverted Cusp said I'm wrong. Okay. I'll take I'm wrong. I haven't looked it up. I just said I haven't looked it up. I could be wrong about it.
I don't think marijuana is strong enough for these kids, man. They doing all kind of stuff nowadays.
Oh, okay.
I mean, from the pill addictions to, you know, syrup and all that. I mean, marijuana is low on the list, so you might be right.
I agree with him on that. Definitely.
Yeah, somebody said I'm wrong, but you guys, I think you guys have like a conservative mind on this. It sounds like you think that kids are on more smugs now than ever and and all this stuff, but that's not pointing to that.
The access is easy. It's easier to access now. It's everywhere on the internet, all over the place.
I know, but that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When it's you guys automatically think, oh, since it's easier to access, everybody's going to do it. But that's not what it is. When it was harder to access, we were doing it more. That's my point. So if you make it easier and you remove, like, if you tell kids, oh man, stay away from this thing, never try this thing, don't do it. You think they're going to not do it, or you think they're going to be like, hey, I wonder why or are they going to fucking do it? Because that's what kids do. Right? But if you actually like make it, if you educate them on the harms of it first and foremost, and then you remove the stigma from it, I bet money less kids will do it. That's all I'm saying. They do that with smacks, they do it with drugs, they do it with stuff. I don't understand. What are y'all talking about?
You got a point there because everybody in my family smokes cigarettes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember me being a teenager. I'm like, yo, I ain't never gonna smoke cigarettes. Why do y'all smoke cigarettes? And then I ended up smoking cigarettes. But I feel like they never really sat me down and really talked to me about the dangers of cigarettes. Why shouldn't I smoke cigarettes? They just told me don't smoke cigarettes. Do as I say and not as I do. But I feel like if they would have sat me down and really had a conversation with me and talked to me about it, I probably would have went a different way.
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah.
Cigarettes now, they vaping now. They got this vaping stuff out here now.
Yeah, they're definitely vaping.
Why?
They're definitely vaping. Vaping is on the rise, no doubt about it. Vaping is on the rise, no doubt about it. But to my original point, I'm getting a little bit off track. But I'm just saying that just to talk about what that dude was talking about, acting like I was like saying some crazy shit. All I said was stop making things taboo and stop, and stop bashing people for doing things that just make a lot of sense, like being on welfare. Stop, and it goes in line with all of this stuff. My solution is always to fix the actual problem and not add ointment to the top of that motherfucker and relieve the itch. That's what a lot of people want to do. A lot of people want to work around the edges of the problem. I like to get to the fucking meat of the problem and say, okay, this is what's going on. Let's address it. Let's get, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's really tackle the problem at it. What? They told me to remove no. I don't even know what he said. That was somebody must have reported him. I don't even know what he said. That was anyways. But yeah, I like to get to the root of the issue. I don't like to go around the edges. And I think that he said the name. Okay. I think that a lot of people, since they don't actually understand the problems, they think that when I say stuff that is like, that's how you actually solve the problem, they think it sounds crazy. And I think that's what happened with you, Unbreakable. Is like, I think that because in America, we're taught that the way, let me, okay. Do you know what the war on drugs was? Unbreakable, do you know what the war on drugs was?
I believe so. I'm so sorry. My daughter is acting up.
Oh no, do your thing. No, you gotta go take care of your kid. Don't even worry about it. I got it. I appreciate you coming up. But yeah, but the war on drugs, was by all intents and purposes, it was a disaster. It didn't work, but they knew it wasn't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? They knew it wasn't gonna work. The people who fought hardest for that policy knew it was never gonna work. They knew that wouldn't be the thing to actually stop people from using. They knew that wasn't gonna be. So if people were gonna use, then people were gonna sell. So they knew it wasn't gonna be the thing to stop people from selling, right? Bernie Sanders spoke about it on the floor, on the Senate floor. He literally was like, nope, this isn't going to work. He argued against it way back in the 90s before it got passed. He said, Bernie went down there and said, this ain't going to work. It ain't going to work, right? He was one of the only senators to speak out against it. Fast forward, whatever, 30 plus years later, it didn't work. But trying to punish people for doing something like it, that's not going to be the deterrent. There is a reason why people use, right? And you got to get to the root of why people use. They're trying to stop people once the problem has already started. Now they're like, oh, let's address the problem, and it's already too late. I won't say it's too late, but it's way harder to address it on the back end, right? So let's get to the core of why people use, why people abuse. I won't even say use so much. Why do people abuse smugs is the question, right? Why do people abuse it? Okay, cool. Depression, lack of resources, lack of money, lack of health care, lack of mental health care. These are the reasons. If you gave everybody health care, you gave everybody access to mental health care, you made sure everybody had a purpose, like these men like to talk about, like the red pill dudes always like to talk about having a purpose. You give everybody a purpose, aka a fucking job. You give everybody an education. You give everybody access to upward mobility and wealth and homes and food and all that. You give people this stuff, you will see smug use plummet. Legalize smugs, give everybody access to the necessities of life. Everything, all those negative things they all but disappear overnight, right? Unalivings, grapings, all of those things. I promise you, all of those things will, I'm not saying the graping and whatever, but definitely like unaliving and stuff like that, all but disappear overnight. So I'm tired of us having these conversations and we're like having them and we just have these like topical approaches to them. Like, oh yeah, give people access to going to a trade school. That'll stop people from having a lot of babies. It won't. Taking away child support won't stop people from having babies. People had tons of babies before child support was a thing. They had more babies before child support was a thing. Maybe stop shaming people for having SMECs. Maybe stop making SMECs taboo. You ever thought about doing that or not doing that? Maybe if we stop shaming people for having SMECs and we taught the children the consequences of having SMECs and then how to protect themselves, children will have SMECs, which will carry on into adulthood. Because really we need to be teaching the adults. If we teach the men, like I said earlier, if men unpack their misogyny and then we start with the young men, the young, the boys, and we teach them consent and we teach them to respect women and not see women as SMECs objects and SMECs dolls and all of that stuff. Right? Now we cooking. Now we got something. But that's not happening. All people do is just they turn everything into this like shameful act, and then it makes it taboo. We push it to the fringes and the problem never gets addressed. The issue never gets addressed, right? Hey, y'all, let's keep tapping the screen. Let's get over 50,000 real quick, man. We could do it. I appreciate y'all. Bang the Cash App one time. Let's keep the live alive. It's hot as hell. But I just feel like most people aren't actually interested in solving the problem. So, what up, Ocean?
Oh, I didn't mean to come up.
You good?
You actually said some of the same points that I was making in the comment section about they do smug the same way they do SMECs.
Mm-hmm.
And by shaming people and making it taboo, and people do it more. And it's interesting because
Thanks, Richard.
I never, with my children, with my sons, I never made smoking marijuana one of those things that they couldn't do. I think I remember you talking about a time that what happened to you in your youth, but I never made it taboo to my children to the point now where drinking and smoking marijuana, they do it, but it's not something that they become like dependent upon. They don't use it as like a coping mechanism, a way of escaping. I give them other tools and other methods to cope or to kind of deal with things and process life.
Mm-hmm.
I let them know not to abuse it. You know, it's okay to use it as a means of calming yourself down, of making yourself, you know, more relaxed or whatever the case may be. But don't, like, you can't exist in that world all day, every day. So that I think that's what causes people to become so addicted to it, is because they think that they can live in that world of being inebriated all day. And instead of them learning how to cope with life itself, that's what people turn to for their personalities and different things like that, instead of being authentically themselves.
Yeah. I mean, marijuana isn't addictive. Marijuana isn't addictive, but definitely I know some people that I would say overconsume for whatever reason. Yeah, I know a few people that overconsume, but
I know people that smoke all day, like from the time they wake and bake. Yeah. Then they gotta have it on their lunch break. They gotta have it when they eat. They gotta have it after they eat, or whatever the case may be. And then, of course, when they come home from work or whatever, and then before they go to bed. Well, I know people like that I'm related to that smoke like that, and that's just how they live their daily life. So,
yeah. People are saying the people that are saying it's addictive is not addictive.
It's not that it's addictive. They just using it as a coping mechanism. It's not that that it's addictive. They're just using it as their way of coping with life in general.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not addictive. There's no physical. Like you don't get withdrawals or something. Like if you stop, you could do it for 10 years straight. Stop cold turkey and nothing will happen to you physically. You'll be fine.
No physiological effects will happen. Yeah.
Alcohol is addictive. If you try to kick alcohol cold turkey, you can die from it. People actually unalive from trying to stop drinking cold turkey. So yeah, y'all, we. That's what I'm saying. Look, so they don't even teach us about smugs. Like they don't even teach us about like the smugs that we use most commonly, right? Which is marijuana and alcohol and cigarettes or whatever. We don't even teach about it. And people like, so you got grown adult people talking about marijuana is addictive. It's not. And then people are like, act like, well, I guess alcohol isn't addictive, but it is though. So see what I mean? Like we should teach each other about that stuff. We should teach our society about that so we can know exactly what it is. So we can know what happens to us.
It's less addictive than sugar. I can tell you that.
What is?
Marijuana is less addictive.
It's not addictive. It's not. It ain't less addictive. It's not addictive. It's literally just not addictive.
What I'm saying is something that's socially normal to consume sugar. Mm-hmm. It's way more addictive and it's less taboo.
Yeah, sugar definitely. Sugar definitely is a smug. Definitely.
And they know it's a smug. That's what I'm saying. I was only saying that being facetious is less addictive.
Yeah.
But they don't care. They don't care that sugar, being extreme amounts of sugar and corn syrup put in our foods, fructose put in our foods. They don't care about those things because that's the thing that they want us to use to off ourselves.
Mm-hmm. That's facts. They told me to remove Ocean. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking about smugs because I don't know what we can say and can't say. I don't feel like anybody's saying anything bad, but they making me remove people left and right. So I don't want nobody else getting in trouble. I don't want anybody else getting in trouble. So I'm gonna go on and stop talking about smugs. Let's do that. Yeah. They made me kick Ocean. That's crazy. And they restricting the live. What? Oh. You can't even say you can't even just have like a honest conversation about it. We ain't even promoting it. And like we in here talking about doing it, like, yeah, we need to do it. We just like, yeah, this shit is crazy. We need to protect people. What up, Nee?
Hey, So y'all read the book that I just added at Pub. I'm not about to say nothing because I'm not about to make it any worse than it already is. But back to the prompt. I think most men have bought into the patriarchal ideologies that we keep being told. A lot of women do too. I hear women say all the time, oh, putting a man on child support is bitter, blah, 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 blah. Why is it bitter? We both laid down and had a baby, but like, take care of your child.
I don't care if it's bitter.
I personally don't either.
Who cares?
I feel as though the only reason to not is if for some reason you guys can figure it out without court. If you cannot figure it out without court or mediation, that's why it's put there. It also shows that in the statistics that men actually fare much better and get better outcomes in family court than women do on average. So it lets me know that most of the men that are viewing this conversation are listening to rhetoric, are only listening to other bitter men tell you some bitter concept that honestly probably never happened to them, to be honest with you. They just need something to complain about. They need somebody to feel bad for. They need somebody to feel bad for them. They need a woe is me. We have talked about this before, where even in cases where things show up like where men love to bring up quote unquote parent alienation, that they fare better in those cases. Where it comes to full custody is very rare for women, and so on and so forth. We talk about how women have to constantly have all of this proof so that they can get custody of their kids. And as a single mom, I would like to also say sometimes I would like to drop that kid off at his house and not worry about it. So to think that a woman is like, man, let me keep these kids and take your little $18.82 per month, wahaha, is absolutely insane work. There's no other way to state that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree. It's a lot of that going on. It's a bunch of bitter dudes out here, gaslighting a bunch of other dudes. But they want to believe it though. I still blame the men who fall for it though, because they don't do any research. All they need is to be able to see a video from a guy saying, what they want to hear, and they're gonna go, I saw a video of some dude talking about child support is a scam or whatever, and that's it. Like they don't want to read about it, they don't want to look it up, they don't want to research it. It's wild.
Absolutely correct. I notice that all the time. They don't want to look it up. They need other men to validate that point of view so that they can continue to sit within this woe is me point of view instead of get up and be responsible for the choices that you've made, just like the mother of your child. That's just the realities of laying down and having children. If we have to take on the responsibility in every way, shape, or form, you doing the bare minimum should not really be that complicated.
Yep. It shouldn't be, but it is. Amy, I appreciate you coming up. Yeah, we wild for the night today. What's going on? What up, Ray Bay?
Hey.
What's happening?
No, so going to the prompt, I agreed with what the lady before me was saying, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it because I haven't heard anybody specifically talk about it. But if we're going to call a spade and we're going to keep it $1.50, one of the reasons as to why men go so hard against child support and want the abolition of child support is because men view motherhood, especially single motherhood, as a punishment. And that punishment's not supposed to extend to them. They view it as a punishment for women willingly and having consensual sexual relationships and getting in bed with men, which is why when you hear men talk about why, quote unquote, childhood is so bad, it's literally just them saying, I don't understand why she's punishing me. I don't understand why I'm being punished for not wanting to take care of my kid. Punish, punish, punish. They view motherhood as a punishment that women are supposed to shoulder by themselves and that's not supposed to extend to them.
Facts. That's exactly what I get from it too.
And it's literally how they talk about it. And you can see it in the way that how they talk about it and how they continuously shift the goalpost, especially when they shift the goalpost and try to make things correlate to child support or to holding men accountable for willingly abandoning their kids, like saying, oh, well, if I have to pay child support for a kid that I don't want to take care of, why isn't it fair for me to fight against women's right and make sure that they can't get abortions? That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, sir. That's not even in the same ballpark. Like, you, and going on to statistical facts, what that lady said before me is true about the fact that men fare on average better in family court when it comes to decisions about custody. But going deeper into that statistical study, the reason as to why men believe that they don't fare better in court and why women fare better is because the statistical study also delves into the fact that men aren't showing up as much to fight for custody of their children in court. It also shows that in statistical studies that have been done that most disagreements when it comes about child support and custody, before it even gets to the court level, statistical study shows that most couples reach co-parenting agreements about custody and about child support outside of the courts. And the reason as to why it ends up going to court is because one person, normally 9 times out of 10, the man in the situation, reneged on the deal that was agreed by both partners.
They some re-niggers. Hey, do me a favor, y'all. Share this with your baby daddy. Everybody share this with 2 baby daddies they know right now.
Share this with the block.
We need
with the community team that you know that's got 10 kids.
Hey man, we need 2 or 3 baby daddies in here. I ain't gonna even hold you. I know y'all ain't here watching, but they not coming up. So share. She said mine's blocked. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Protect your peace, queen. Protect your peace.
I ain't even mad at it. Hey, hold on. Let me read the super chat. Loved one said, men need to stop the cap about the child belonging to the father when they operate as the child being only the mother's. When they no longer have access to the mother sexually, they leave the children too. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
100%. And what kills me, what really tickles me, what really makes me laugh is that the men that go the hardest in terms of wanting to abolish child support, one, they stop and will backtrack on everything they said about child support if it's a situation where the roles are reversed and the woman is having to pay child support, then they're all for it. They don't give a damn about child support anymore. Now that a woman is on it. Or the men that go so hard against child support, 9 times out of 10 also will also be saying the same thing, along the lines of, when it's women's fault. They'll be like, oh, well, maybe if you didn't, if you shouldn't instead of punishing your baby daddy and putting him on child support, maybe you shouldn't have slept with him in the first place. But then we'll also be the same men that blame women for the male loneliness epidemic by referencing the fact that statistical studies are showing that more and more women are choosing just to take themselves out of the dating pool because of the behavior of men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they talking points just be circular. They don't they don't really be having no point. They just say whatever's convenient in the time. So whenever
it's like a no-win situation. So we're damned for the fact of putting them on child support for willingly and voluntarily helping create a new life. But then we're also damned because y'all are only putting men on child support because you're bitter. And if you wouldn't have slept with them, this wouldn't have been a problem. But also at the same time, y'all don't give us no choice but to act like assholes because more and more of you are choosing to not date us.
The dumbest shit about that whole putting them on child support because they're bitter is a couple things. But A, you have a child. You wouldn't be. So hear me out, man. To the men that say women are putting me on child support because they're bitter, I want you to understand. They wouldn't be able to put you on child support if you guys didn't have a child. So that's the first thing you guys bypass with that whole bitter shit. There's a child involved, first and foremost. Secondly, you're saying they put you on child support, right? Now, the court is a third party. The court is not pro women. I actually think the court in some case, I think it goes like this. They protect the father, then they protect the kid somewhat, and then lastly, they worry about the mother of the kids. They're not neutral. They're definitely not neutral. They favor men, no doubt about it, because for a woman, when she goes to court, the expectation for mothers is so fucking high. They expect mothers to come in with all their ducks in a row. The mother has to know everything about the child, has to know every in and out, nook and cranny, yada yada yada. All the father has to do is show up. Because for men, the bar is so low because most men don't show up. So imagine that you're already at an advantage as the father because most fathers don't show up. That's impressive in and of itself. It does it. Hold on, Ray Bay. It does a mind fuck on the judges because they go, well, if you sit in front of 100 of these cases and 87 of them, the motherfucker don't show up. The first one you get where the dude show up, you go, okay, he must care about this child. Because 87 times they didn't show up. So
it's just not even in the capacity of them not showing up. That thought process and that quote unquote impressiveness that the judges have extends far beyond that.
Oh no, it does, yeah.
Like motherhood and fatherhood are so unequal in scaling that it's not even funny because mothers will be criticized and degraded.
Yeah, that was just an example that I was given though of how different, both people are viewed, right? Like mothers are viewed and they have to be like the baby can't cry around the mom. If the baby cries around the mom, it's like, oh, go get your baby. If a baby cries around the dad, 19 women miraculously pop up out of nowhere with lollipops and fucking feathers to tickle their feet. Like just random people just start coming. Oh, dad, having a tough day. Oh man, don't worry about it, super dad. I see you. But
especially when it comes into the court cases, because the moms have to prove that they are the better parent, right? And like they're alive with their kids are like way more focused on than the dads, because they'll be like, oh, looking at the mom in court, be like, damn, so it seems that you missed this doctor's appointment, you didn't go to this PTA meeting with your kid, you didn't do this, and now they have to come up with viable reasons as to why they weren't at certain integral points in their children's lives. But the judge will look at the dad and be like, damn, you showed up to your daughter's ballet recital one time. Standing ovation, everybody. This is the golden father. He showed up.
Yeah, that's how they pedestalize the dash for real. Hey, Ray Bay, I appreciate you coming up per the usual.
No problem.
All right, catch you on the back end. Miss Poetric said these same men don't want to pay child support, but are mad at women for having abortions. Like, how dare you not accept having this child so I can abandon y'all? It's the old rope-a-dope, the okie doke, if you will. Wiki. It's wiki. Let me see. Man, what did I want to do? BW said that's why men fight so hard to uphold the patriarchy. Terrible men make barely decent men look great in comparison. Yeah, that's what I be talking about. BW. Motherfuckers be, hey, people, you know how I know the whole thing is a scam? Because motherfuckers be talking about me like, oh man, Pub, you're great. I know you're a great da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm really not. I'm just better than y'all. But I'm not like great. Like I wouldn't call myself great at all. You know what I mean? I'm just better than most of the men. I know that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fine. Like I'll accept that. But is that some like miraculous feat? Because the average man is fucking garbage. So what can like me being like, yeah, I'm not garbage. Cool. Cool, buddy. But I already told y'all 1,000 times, my competition, if you will, is not really a comp, but my goal, like when people talk about goals and shit, it's my wife. It's the women that I know for the most. It's not some dude. Like I don't, in all honesty, I don't really look up to any man when it comes to this stuff. There are very few men that I look up to. I feel like most men, the best men I know, we're like on the same level now. And then like, but then like all of us are like below our women though. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, let me see what's going on over there. They seem like they got it figured out over there. I'm trying to go on that side of the island so we can figure this out. That's what I want to do. Let me read this super chat. Osa said $5 on Pub. We the people on the YouTubes need a community post or notify me of what days and times you go live. We love and want to support you. I appreciate you, Osa. I know that's my bad. This wasn't my normal time. I was lollygagging. I've been real tired. I just got off late. I was watching football a little bit. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna hold you. I was watching a little football. You know, I was neglecting the streets for a little while today. I need a little mental health day for your boy. And I took off yesterday. So especially, hey, if y'all wasn't in that live on Friday night, early Saturday morning, go watch it on YouTube, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Go watch that live on YouTube from Friday night, Saturday morning. Go watch that shit. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. I needed a break. It was like perfect timing. I needed a fucking. After that, I was like, yeah, this is nuts. I gotta decompress from this. I need a day. I gotta catch my breath. It was wild. BW said that's why so many men fight so hard to uphold the patriarchy. Terrible. Oh yeah, I read that one. Okay, I miss Osis. You saw it today, eh? Okay. It's a really low bar, yeah. Let's keep that train going, man. They wilding today. It was wicked. It was wicked work. I ain't gonna give it away. I'm gonna let y'all go. Do it. I got some clips up. I got some clips of it up too if you want to just catch the clips. But oh, the playback was crazy. Look, that shit was so crazy. I went back and watched it. I watched like the last hour and a half of it the other day. I was doing shit. I just watched it. I was like, this shit is crazy. You just gotta go. I ain't gonna even give it away. You just go peep it. If you know, you know. The whole thing from beginning to end. Nee said she needed a bottle after that night. That shit was better than pay-per-view. I think it's one about Offset, is Offset a high value man, I think. The one with Reggie, yep. Started off with Old Boy, and then we went on to Reggie, and it just kept going. It kept going and growing. That boy El Jefe came up. It was wicked. And where y'all at, man? Y'all jumped out, fell out the queue. You know, I'm gonna get to you. Look, I done let up the whole queue. What up, Deja?
Hey, Pub, how you doing?
Good.
Say again?
I'm good.
Okay. No, I just wanted to, I'm not going to say what I do for work, but I've seen men use child support in the most diabolical way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean, they'll be abusive to the woman, where I'm talking about knock the teeth out, all the above. They'll be in court and calling her from jail, talking about, I love you. But then it'll come time to pay child. Well, I can't pay her because I don't have her address. He want her address because it's confidential, right?
Mm-hmm.
Custody and visitation. I want the address because it's confidential. But he can't get the address. He's like, I can't send her money. Put it through the court. Well, I need her address for visitation. No, we'll do it at the jail. Like, I don't think they understand. They only want to do custody, visitation, and child support when they can use it against the woman.
Mm-hmm.
I've literally seen them do it in diabolical ways. Like, they'll come up on the video in jail and be, I love you, baby, knowing he done knocked her head through the wash and dryer. All of the above.
Damn.
I've seen men do it in the most diabolical way.
I believe that, though.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
You have the ones that are like, I pay child support, so I'm not giving her no more money. Knowing you only giving her $250, and what is that supposed to do?
Nothing.
Like it's insane. I don't understand the problem men have with taking care of their children, period. But let alone, can you at least give her financial support, right? Like, can you at least do that part for the woman, since you don't want to show up in any other way? Like, at least do that.
Well, they don't, though, because they don't care about them kids. Men, which further proves my point about men using, like, I think that most men just have babies with women to trap them. Y'all could, hey, man, y'all could try to convince me otherwise. Y'all can really try to do that. But in my mind, in my conversations with men, I am not convinced that 80% of men are having babies just to trap women because they don't like the kids. So what else reason is it?
It's for their legacy, Pub. Remember, it's for the legacy.
Hey, man, that shit should be illegal.
That's what they say, Pub.
If you think your kid is a legacy, I think you should get fined. I think a ticket should get printed out somewhere like close. Y'all remember Demolition Man? When they should just get tickets for like talking wild and shit. A ticket would be like violation, Deja, and the ticket would just print out. That's how it should be. Like you should just get a ticket for saying that stupid shit. Like, oh, that's my legacy. Ticket should just come out the wall. Like, take that, man. You got to pay that at the courthouse. It's $55 because you stupid.
And bring it back full circle. I'm telling you, mark my words, right? Because Offset said, "I got you now."
Yep.
My baby mama.
Yep.
Watch he try to hit her for child support and alimony.
He already is. He is. That's what she said. That's what she said. She said, "Oh, you gonna try?" He said it in the comments. He was like, "I'm gonna take everything from you," or something like. He threatened her in that way. She was like, "Now you gonna come for all my shit or something?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, this motherfucker crazy."
So that's my other point too, right? I have two more points. I know men that will go to jail. Once again, not saying what I do. They will be rich, have the money to pay for child support, and will rather go to jail for not paying the child support than to pay child support to that woman.
Yep. That's facts.
They will most definitely do that.
No doubt about it.
Definitely do that.
No doubt about it.
So clearly you don't care about the child. You don't care about the mother as well. You just want to control her.
I don't even be basing it on, like, I do base it on that too, but I'm saying, like, I don't even need that. I listen to how men talk about it. The men who don't got the kids. Before they got the babies, they already talking about child support is a scam and why should I have to pay? I'm like, nigga, you ain't even got babies yet. Or you got a baby and you with the baby mama and you already talking about child support is a scam. Like, yeah, you trapped that lady. Let me go ahead.
Here's why they didn't want to marry women. You could stay on welfare as long as you could stay with that woman in that house as long as you married her, but you didn't want to marry her.
Yep. Facts. Let me read this super chat. Evie said, theory. These men view responsibility as punishment because as boys, they mamas will punish them by giving them chores, aka responsibilities. Evie, go check out my video. I got a video on how I just was talking about that shit today, how we got to stop blaming mamas. We got to stop blaming mamas for the way that men think. It ain't the mama's fault. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you that right now. It is not our mama's fault for the way that we think. It's not. It's not. We was going to think like this regardless. We was going to abuse regardless. It ain't no mommy issues. It ain't no mommy wounds and all of that shit. No. It ain't that. It's not that. I don't believe it's that. I'm not going to say it's not that. I don't think it's that. It's the entitlement. It's the entitlement that is created and fostered, all right, Deja, by our society, like in our society by the patriarchy, right? It ain't like the mothers ain't doing that shit. I don't know. I don't buy into that. But you could be right, Evie. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, for me, I don't think that that's the truth. I don't think it's the truth. Godzilla of Gaza. That's a crazy name. Your kids are not your legacy. Your legacy is what you do. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Mello, man, what you talking about, bro? Every time I see you comment 19 times, I got to invite you up because I don't be reading them comments.
Hey, Pub. Hey, happy Sunday.
You too.
Hopefully, from Dave and Buster's.
I did. We had a good time, man.
Now, see, this is kind of a slippery slope just because there are so many men that are irresponsible financially. But I can tell you that it's a long, drawn-out process for the men that really do decide, hey, I'm going to step up and I'm going to go to court and fight for my child. It's not easy, and I'm telling you this from facts. You have to basically prove in a court of law that she's irresponsible as a mother, and you're the best.
Wait, what are you talking about? If you want to be the custodial parent?
Yes.
Yeah, it shouldn't be easy.
So she can be subpar, she can be not nearly as financially
No,
successful.
that's not true. Now you're lying.
public, I'm sitting here telling you the amount I paid for the lawyer, just because there was a lot of continuances and you got to get proof and you got to have CPS, got to come out. It's all kind of stuff that has to take place prior to you getting that final decision. And the longer it gets drawn out, the more money it costs.
But that's not it, sir. The reason why it's a fight is because most of the time the women are actually capable. So it actually is like hard to determine who's more, you know what I'm saying, who's the most capable, right? It really is. So when the fathers do want to fight, the average woman is showing up for the kids. The average woman knows more than the average father about the children, you know, whatever, right? A man shows up to court, he should have to prove that he's the better parent. You think it should just be easy? But the reality is men are favored. So men don't have to argue it as strongly as women do. Women gotta be fucking perfect. Men could just show up. If a man shows up and he wants custody, he can be abusive, the numbers go up. He can be abusive. She can say, that man is abusive and I don't want him to be around the kids right now, right? He needs to go to some therapy, blah, 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 blah. The judge gonna go, I think you're not telling the truth. Yeah, give him Mondays, Wednesdays, and every other weekend for right now. It goes up when they say that. That's what I'm saying. So I don't give me the whole like, man, we gotta fight. It's hard and da 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 da. It should be hard for you to get custody of your child. Go ahead.
It's only true when you don't have documented evidence. If she comes to court with documented evidence of some type of abuse or neglect, it gets very difficult.
Say what? Say it again.
And the judge is going to pay attention to the paperwork if there's a paperwork trail. So if she comes to court and say he's abusive and she has paperwork to back that.
No, it doesn't. You make no. You making up stuff. I'm telling you.
You're going off of speculation.
I'm not going. Nope. I'm not going off of speculation, and I'm not going off of my personal experiences, and I'm not going off of your personal experiences. I'm going off of the fucking data. What you're saying ain't true. It's not true. What are you talking about? Paperwork? What do you mean?
What data? Public. I'm saying paper trail. If she goes to court and says he's abusive, and then she has police reports, he has documentation.
They still give him custody. No, that's what they do.
I'm telling you, no, they don't.
Man, you don't know. All right, Mello. All right.
Okay, bro.
All right. D just said it's a court-appointed attorney representing children, representing the child. What up, Godzilla? What's good with it, man?
Well, you seem to disagree with the part of legacy, and I'm just going to go with what I get when I put this in the chat bot. It said, yes, children often considered part of a significant part of a man's legacy. They carry forward not only genetic traits, but also values, traditions, and memories. Many people view their children as a way to leave a lasting impact on the world, continuing their influence and contributions through future generations.
Yeah. So what's your kids? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm just kind of wondering, why does the Bing chatbot disagree with your analysis?
It doesn't. It says that they are considered to be your legacy. People consider their kids to be the legacy. It didn't say they are, so it didn't disagree with me. You consider kids to be a legacy, right? Read it again. You tell me. You read it again. Tell me what it said.
Sure. Yeah, it does say the word considered. You're not wrong.
Okay.
But if is legacy an objective thing, or is it subjective as to what you think your legacy is?
In this particular case, a legacy can be subjective, I guess, right? Like you can think that your kids are your legacy. You can say my kids are my legacy. But by pushback to that, my question to that would be this. If I have kids and I abandon them, are they still my legacy?
No.
Okay. So it's not me having kids, it's what I do. That's what I told you initially. It's about the effort I put in. So it's not about my kids, it's about my works. That's your legacy. Your legacy is your works. Now, you can your legacy to wait guys, I'm almost done. To your point, if I was a teacher and I didn't have kids, right? Like we all had teachers. They leave behind a legacy. Even if they never had kids themselves, we are a part of their legacy. All the children that they taught, yes, but that is their work that they put in. It's not just that kids just showed up to their classroom and they had kids in the class. Now they have a legacy. No. It's the work they put in. That's what I'm saying. Your legacy is what you do. It's what you do, not what your kids do, not just that something exists that has your last name. That's not a legacy. Your legacy is the effort and the work that you put in, right? So you can have a legacy with or without kids. Doesn't matter, because kids aren't a legacy in and of itself. Having children isn't a legacy. That is a lineage. We know that, but not a legacy.
Well, yeah, I guess you could call it a lineage a genetic legacy. For a lot of it, it's important.
Okay, and why is it important? Why is it important to pass on your genetic legacy, but not support them, not show up?
Well,
how important is it to you?
I would think that not supporting your own genetic legacy would be toxic behavior from toxic individuals.
I know, but most men don't support their legacy, though.
I don't agree with that. But then again, like
you don't.
We're at opposite ends, right?
Wait. You think? Wow. So this is crazy. So I don't even need to go to the abandon and all of that stuff, right? We don't even go there because the numbers are crazy. They're not in your favor. I'm going to talk about the men that are in relationships with women that have kids, right? Let's talk about that for a second. Men that are in relationships with women and they have kids and they share kids in the relationship, right? Who does the vast majority of the child rearing in that relationship?
The women.
Okay. So just based on that alone, I would think if men cared that much about their legacy, quote, like the one we're using it right now, the kids, that wouldn't be true. Women care about their legacy. Women care about the kids. Men typically don't care as much. We really don't. We have kids, and we live with the old ball and chain, and we got the old ankle biters, and all these fucking things we do to distance ourselves from our kids. But we constantly try to escape, constantly, whether it be through consuming sports, video games, alcohol, playing poker with our buddies, playing basketball, playing fucking pinochle, playing fucking what's that game, that new game, the little racquetball game, I forget what it's called, pickleball, whatever the fuck we do, right? We got all these other things going on besides our kids. And then on top of that, men just literally ignore their children. Like literally just ignore them. Like when they're talking to them, they just ignore them. Like I see, like that is what I see with my own two fucking eyes. Just men, just like kids are trying to talk to them and they're just like, oh, and then like they acknowledge every other word. Or it's like, bro, like, nah, men don't give a fuck about their kids. They don't.
Well, I agree that a lot of men don't, and like I'm not going to dispute that. Especially like we're different. We're from different communities, so I have to take it for granted that what you say is true from your anecdotal experience.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I also feel this is a form of toxic behavior, and I feel like you can address it as such. In the communities I'm part of, none of the men are like that.
Bullshit. 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 Based on what you just said, you're contradicting yourself. Based on what you just said, bullshit. You just said it. I didn't. I said, who does the vast majority of the child rearing? You said the women. There you go. That's your answer. Because it ain't because of the men got to go outside and work and he got to bring home the bacon. It ain't that. It's that men don't give a fuck about kids. They don't. We don't. We don't care about raising them. We want to have them because having kids attaches you and ties you to that woman. That's why most men, after that woman decides to leave him, they abandon the kids too. They neglect the kids too. If they don't outright abandon the kids, they neglect the kids severely. 60% of men either neglect the kids or abandon the kids altogether. And I'm not even saying the other 40% matches the mom's energy, but you know what I'm saying? Like they try harder than those dudes. Okay, cool. But you're not about to sit here and tell me you cannot convince me through any studies. You can't convince me through my observable, you know what I'm saying, truth, like that men actually give a fuck about children. You can't. 85% of custodial parents are mothers. The mothers spend twice as much time with their kids in the home. Men don't work twice as many hours as women. right? So let's put that in perspective for the men that's going to say, well, he got to go out and make all the money. Let's make it make sense. Why is it that women spend twice as much time with the kids in the home, but men don't work twice as much time outside of the home? Because it would have to be a one-to-one for that to make sense. If you were, it would, so women don't, most women work. Most women in relationships work. Most women with kids work. Vast majority do, right? Okay, cool. And they're working roughly the same amount of hours as the men do. It ain't like the men are working 80 hours a week and the women are working 40 hours a week. The men are working 50 and the women are working 47. The men are working 52 and the women are working 45. But the women are spending twice as much time with the kids at home. So it's not a one-to-one. I'm not getting how that's possible, right? And then you're trying to sell me on men like their babies. I disagree. I need to see. I don't believe you. You need more people. I definitely don't believe that. Mello, do you think most men love their babies or appreciate their babies? Be honest.
This one here, Pub, is I can't say most. I can say there's a lot of men that
most men
abandon their kids. I can't say most because I'm sitting here looking up the stats and it says it doesn't say most.
Most men what?
It doesn't say most men abandon their children.
I didn't say most men abandon their kids. I said most. I didn't. I said go ahead. Go ahead, guys.
You're saying that most men aren't involved parents.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I would disagree, but again, different communities.
No, it's not. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. So this is when I'm gonna use that. This is when I'm gonna use that black father involvement study, right? That study here's when that study would actually apply, right? Because you're a white teen man, I'm a black man, obviously. So they've been lying on black men, saying black men aren't as involved as other fathers, right? But when black men are in the home, we are more involved than other fathers. I could buy that for anybody saying black bull. I know people want to shit on that and lie and talk that shit about men or whatever. Cool. I can believe that though. Cool. I'll believe it. Fuck it. Right? Let's say it's equal. But you're not finna sell me on, nah, in the white community, they're involved, but in the black community, they not. They're not. White men don't give a fuck about their babies either. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. They don't care. I'm not comparing men to other men. I think that's the problem. So many men like to compare men to other men. They like to compare fathers to other fathers. I don't compare fathers to fathers. I don't. I compare fathers to mothers. I compare fathers to the other parent in the fucking relationship. Not to some other dude, the other dude in a relationship. Who cares? I'm comparing them to the other half of the relationship. So if the other group of people are spending twice as much time with the kids as this group of people, then why are we taking away this group and comparing them to this side? That's not the debate. That's not even who fucking cares? I don't care. The bar is low. The expectations for men is so low. And I guarantee, look, what makes a father a good father? How much time should a father spend per week with their children? Let's get to the nuts and bolts of it. No, be specific. Be specific. Give me a number.
I can't be specific because what I'm trying to answer you as is however much time the kid wants to spend with the dad. Like if the kid is showing signs of emotion, like like if the kid doesn't particularly care if the father's around.
Hey man, is there a white woman in here? A white woman with some babies, maybe that want to speak on the difference in communities? Because that's crazy. What you just said right now don't even make no sense. If the kids want to be with you do know that kids want to be with the dads all like what?
Well, sometimes but I can only reference myself in this, but it's like when I was a kid, a lot of the time I just wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want my parents around. I wanted them if I needed something, but other than that, no.
Okay. I don't know at what age you're talking about, but age.
From what I can remember, like earliest age, like 7 or so.
Nah, hell no. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Them babies can't do nothing without you.
I can't remember. And if you're talking about childcare, that's like kind of different than quality time. When it comes to, I'm only talking about the quality time aspect. When it comes to like raising babies, then yeah, you should be as involved as you can, because both parents' time is being taken. That's just logical. But when it comes to the quality time aspect, like to some degree, when your kid's growing up, with me it happened way early. But it's like at some point the kid's going to be wanting to do their own things, play video games, talk, hang out with their friends and stuff like that.
What? My baby want to do all that shit sitting right next to me. What are you talking? My baby he want to show me the game. He like, Dad, look at what I can do. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. That's crazy. What you saying ain't making no sense. That's why I was asking, like, at what age are we talking about? Are we talking about at age 15? Are we talking about at age 17? I can see you being older or whatever, but even then, though, man, if you got a good relationship with your parents, you want to be around your parents. Like, I don't think there's ever going to come a time when my son don't want to be around us. I'm sorry. There are going to be times in the day. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be like a whole age where he's just going to be like, I don't want to be around my kids, around my dad and my mom. Like, that sounds fucking crazy.
I don't think he ever put it like that. But
that is what he said. He was doing that at 7. He said he was like, he wanted to be left alone so he can do his own thing without his parents. Like, what?
Well, my son just turned 19, and I got to call him half the time.
Yeah, 19. That's because you neglected him when he was 9. No. The reason why your son don't call you now when he's 19 is because you neglected him when he was 9, brother.
I neglected him. I've been here the whole way, bro.
You wasn't there enough.
What?
Yeah. See, here go the tough truths the men need to hear. If your kids fall out of contact with you in early adulthood and later adulthood, that is a you problem. That's not them. They didn't just get old and just forgot about. No. You fucked up along the way somewhere. You messed up somewhere. Somewhere along the way, you neglected too much. You went out to the bar too many times. You chased women too much. You play video games and didn't let them play. Like, whatever you did it, though. That's all I'm trying to tell you. So if your 19-year-old son ain't calling you, it ain't because that's just the time when they stop calling you.
It's because he's an adult.
No.
He live on his own.
Does he? Let me ask you a question. Does your son call other adults, or does he communicate with children?
No.
Okay, so No. I didn't say did he call y'all. I said adults. You said he's a young adult.
How would I know?
You don't, because he's your fucking son.
I don't pay his phone bill. What do you mean? I don't know who he talked to.
You think your son is talking to children, or you think your son is talking to people his age?
His age?
Okay.
What do you mean?
So he's talking to other adults. That's my point. So he don't got a problem with talking to adults. He got a problem talking to certain adults, like you and your girl, like him and his mom, like you and his mama. Huh? Huh?
When he needs something, I'm always here for him. What do you mean?
But that's not he. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me calm it down. I'm gonna let Neuro go. Go ahead, Neuro. I got you.
When he needs, some guidance or some advice, he know what to do. And I'm not a drinker at all, so I don't know where you get the bar from.
I ain't say you a drinker. I don't know what you're talking about. I just said something. I was like, I don't give a fuck where you go. Games, I don't give a fuck. What up, Neuro?
I just overheard the conversation and wanted to drop in to say, yes, it's a huge problem in our community as well. Big time abandonment, as well as just when they're home, not being home. Like my dad, actually, I came from a single father household, shockingly. But even my dad was an abusive alcoholic. So even when he was home, he wasn't home.
He wasn't there.
We had to cook our own dinner, do our own laundry at 12 years old because we were little girls and he was a man and he couldn't be asked to do laundry or, because those were womanly things. You know what I mean? So as a 12-year-old, I was rushing home from school, trying to do my homework with severe ADHD on my own, failing school, and also doing my laundry, trying to help my little brother, and cooking dinner.
as a 12-year-old. So that was my father raising us. And when he was home, he was drunk out of his mind. So he had no idea what we were doing. So we got to sneak out though late at night as teenagers and have crazy things happen to us as well. Because again, he was at home, but he was an absent father times 1,000.
Yeah. You can be absentee in the home. That's what I was saying. Like, a lot of men think that their duty is to go to work and just make sure you're in the house and you're a good dad. And I'm like, you're not a good dad because you're not connecting with them babies. You're not talking to them. And when you do talk to them, you saying stupid shit to them. You pumping them full of fear. You're not actually encouraging them to be the best version of themselves. You teaching them how to be a shitty person like you. Like that's what I observe from so many men when they raise their kids. Even my wife be checking me on saying shit to my son all the time. She be like, don't say that. And, don't booty woo woo woo. You know what I mean? Like I could be hard on my son, I think sometimes. Right. Like, and I'm not nowhere near as hard as I see most men be on their kids, but I will recognize that I can be a little hard on my son. So y'all, like the fact that so many people think that it's normal for kids to just be like, nope, I don't want to have any contact with my parents is wicked. That shit is
significant. If they were abused significantly, like I'm no contact with my mother. My father has now passed away, but she was obviously not great either. So I'm actually no contact with my mother. And in order to like go no contact with your parents, that goes against all of your survival instincts.
Everything.
That goes against everything.
To not talk to your parents? Not talk to your parents. I don't care if you're 19, 29, like not talk to your parents. Like what? That's crazy. Who are you talking to outside of your significant other? Like you're talking to your friends. Like, why aren't you talking to your parents? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Because I know people that have that healthy relationship with their mom and their dad, and they talk to their mama and their daddies like they motherfucking best friends. They talk to them every day. Every day. They on the phone with them 30, 40, 50 minutes a day, daily. Talking to them like, mutual respect. Like, come on, man. And I know that's not normal in our community. I don't mean black people. I'm talking about in America. That's not normal in our community as Americans, because that's not a white thing or a black thing. That ain't even, this is one of those times I'm going to say in the West even. That's a Western thing, right? Because of colonialism. They fucking, everybody all disconnected and shit like that. That's what the nuclear family will get you. You know what I'm saying? Got to work and everybody got their own little shit going on. You know what I mean? But y'all tripping though on some real shit. Go ahead, no.
That's hyper individualism. So I totally agree. And that's from capitalism and colonialism and white supreme. I call it to make sure I, say it properly on this app. That way I don't get anybody's live threatened. But either way, because I know a lot of times it will trigger certain people and then they'll come, report and all that.
Yep.
But either way, I totally agree. I was going to say the other thing is whenever my other half, whenever he brings our son to the doctor and he goes through with the doctor his any of his allergies like and things like that and knows his height and his weight without even looking before they even get to the scale, he's dead on. The nurse is always like, I can't believe you know that all. She goes, I bet you even know his shoe size. And he goes, of course I do. And she's like, no, you don't get it. Most fathers do not know these things about their own sons. They don't know their allergies. They don't even know their blood types, right? If there was an emergency,
I don't know the blood type.
Yeah, they would not be able to help, the child very much. So, like, the nurse was bringing up how many fathers don't even know their own children's birthdays. That's a big issue.
I'm going to say something in my own defense. I don't know my own blood type. That's not, I've never been a person to know a blood type.
Your own, then that's fair. That is totally fair. But aside from that, like, people not even knowing their own children's birthdays, like, I can't find a reasonable reason or excuse for that. That is very strange and very sad.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, no, and then go to. I know Godzilla wanted to say something. Oh, okay. You go ahead, Godzilla. Oh, Maud said. Oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Maud said, tell that goofball to talk to the custody. She's talking to you, Mello. She said, tell that goofball to talk to the custody lawyers. They'll tell him that a woman's chances of getting custody drop when she talks about abuse. Yeah, they know that. He over here making up stuff. Mello always got the opposite of facts.
I ain't got to make up nothing because I actually went through it. So that's why
Oh, she accused you of abuse?
No, I'm saying I actually went through the whole custody battle. I told you, I wasn't the abusive one. I already told you that.
I know. I'm saying, but you said you've been through it, so
I never got accused.
then you didn't go through it, then, Mello.
I wasn't the one accused of abuse. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm not.
So you didn't go through it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Custody court battle. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Mello, we get it.
It was involved. That's all.
Sir, it's different. I got it. I hear you. It's different. If a woman is accused of abuse, I bet you it's not handled like when a man is accused of abuse. If you accuse a mother of abuse, I bet the numbers don't go up if she get custody. I bet anything. If you say a woman is abusive, look, matter of fact, case in point, Mello, you got custody of your kids. And you said that woman was abusive.
But it wasn't cheap. It was not cheap.
Who said, what does that got to, wait, what does the cost of it have to do with anything? Who gives a fuck?
Because
it's irrelevant.
Because depending on who pays for the best lawyer, and that's normally who will end up with custody, honestly.
So you just proving my point that you obviously didn't deserve custody. You just had more money than her.
No, because my kids were also old enough to talk to CPS. They also involve teachers. It's a lot more that actually gets involved than what you would ever.
So which one is it? Which one was it, Mello? Did your kids want to be with you, or did you have more money?
My kids are still with me.
I know they are. You've told us. So I'm saying, which one was it?
It was all of the above. I had really good counsel, but I was also a very dependable parent. I've always been there. I know counselors and teachers and doctors' appointments and birthdays. I did all of that.
Okay.
I've always been there.
Okay. So it wasn't that your lawyer was high powered. It's that you were just a good father, and that woman was abusive.
Plus, I also had good counsel.
But you just said, okay. You're contradicting. I know, but you're contradicting yourself, just so you know, but it's okay. Go ahead, Godzilla.
I don't know. I kind of felt like we took things a little bit far because you're never talking to the parents, not spending time around them. I never said that. It's just, but what, and I double checked this, because I asked, what was I like around 7 or 8 or so? I was doing my own thing. Not 100% at that time.
I know what you mean.
When I did something, when I was making stuff out of Connect and Lego, and when I was making virtual maps on the computer back in 1993, I was telling them, I would show my stuff off. But after I showed it off and got the approval, I went back to what I was doing. Do you
think you're the normal? You think you're the norm?
I don't know.
I'm asking you. Do you think?
I can't say that because I was a nerd, and most of my friends were also nerds, like chess clubs, shit like that.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily know what the average family is like necessarily, who weren't into those more technical things. There's not many. I can't say that I'm normal and I represent everybody. I can just say I can just say what my experience was and what seemed normal to me growing up, because me and all my friends were like this.
Okay. I don't think and maybe I'm basing this on all the kids I was around, and my children personally. I don't think most kids want to do their own thing. My son who has autism, he wants to do his own thing. He don't need to be around people. But we would call him neurotypical son or whatever, if you will. He definitely wants to be around us all the time. He literally is around us all the time. He's either around his mom or me or both of us all the time. He does not leave our side. He does his own thing. He just does it right next to us.
Well, sure. That's what I was trying to say before, though. It depends on the need of the kid. If they want you to be around as much as possible, then you sort of have the obligation to do that. My sister was super attached to my father and mother, but between me and my brother, no. We wanted to do our own things. We wanted to build stuff. I have so many memories out of Connects. And yeah, when we did something awesome, we wanted to show it off and get that pat on the back. But then after that, it was okay, cool, let's start doing something else. It was just a continual progression. And I thought that was normal when you were young. Because when you're young, you want to have some sort of impact on the world. You can't really do that when you're a kid. So you do that by making things.
Let me ask you a question. If you're, and I don't know if your mom or dad, if they were into the things that you were doing, but let's say they were into making Legos with you? Would you have been like, how would you have felt if they would have sat down and made Legos with you, like built Lego whatever structures with you?
That could be cool.
So it wasn't that you necessarily wanted to do it on your own. It's that they didn't want to do it with you.
Well, it's like my mother had gardening. My father had like motorcycle work and accounting stuff and housework and other things like that. Yeah. And like we were always stay-at-homes, homebodies, and we all did our own thing, and then we would talk about it, and we always enjoyed it. Did they appreciate it genuinely? I don't know. They always give me the impression that the stuff I was doing was awesome and that I should keep doing it and give me positive reinforcement. So I don't, but do they genuinely care about me building stuff like Connects? I don't know. It almost doesn't matter.
Well, it kind of does, because what I'm saying is that, and I appreciate, I mean, I can respect that too. Like, they encourage you. I'm not saying that they were like fucking secretly hating on you or something. I'm just saying that I'm into the stuff that my son is into, even if I'm not into it, if that makes sense, because I'm into him. You see what I'm saying? So I like force myself to be into the shit that he's into because I want to be there with him. So if he wants to do something that I don't want to do, like he plays his Roblox or whatever, that's what he does the majority of the time. But he's right there with me at every, he's right there. So what, like, I don't got to play Roblox with him or whatever. But I'm right there and he's showing me stuff and we're talking or whatever the case may be, right? Same thing with my wife. She's right there. It's not like he's like up in his room playing Roblox, isolated, and then he comes down when he wants to, or when he wants some fucking chicky nuggets or something like that. Like, we're next to him all the time, talking to him, having conversations with him while he's doing something else, right? But everything else that he does, I do it with him, or my wife does it with him. Like everything, like he plays soccer, I play soccer with him, right? We go to practice, I take him to practice, we take him to practice, we watch him play, we're there, we're cheering him on, you know what I mean? Like, we get as involved as we can. My wife does all his homework with him. We read with him. She reads with him at night. He wants me in there when he reads, and at night we got to do our stuff. He needs his hug and his kid. Like, you got to just touch and we got to be in your kid's life as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? And especially when they're young. And I think that a lot of men, and probably, I think most men and a lot of women, even a lot of mothers, don't feel like that. I think a lot of them get, because like you said, they got their own thing. Right? Like, oh, it's okay to let little Billy go play in his room for 5 hours and I'll do, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people feel like that. So I ain't gonna hold that, you know what I mean, against you necessarily. And it definitely could come down to the child. That could have been your choice and you could have been perfectly okay with that. I'm not telling you like you suffered because of that. You may have, just like I said, my son who has autism, he doesn't want people around him. Right? You may have not wanted people around you. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
Well, it's not that
I got you, Mello.
People around me. It's just I kind of want to do what it is that I'm doing. If other people want to do with me, great, awesome. If not, that's okay. Okay. And I think that's the most healthy attitude, not to constantly be needing other people.
Your parents, though.
My dad and mom, if anything, my dad and mom, like, they tried to get me into the stuff that they like to do, gardening and like various other things. And it's like, no, I want to do what I want to do.
You liked your own thing.
And just because you're there, it's like gardening. I didn't give a shit. I don't care about flowers.
You don't think that sounds weird though? Like they tried to get you into the thing. So they wanted to hang out with you more, but they didn't want to do what you wanted to do. So they were just like, you do whatever you want to do, but try to do, like, that seems kind of, to me, that reads as selfish as a parent. I don't try to get my son really to do anything that I like to do. Like, he's his own person. I love that about him, right? He plays completely different sports than I play. He listens to different music than I listen to. Like, he's his own person. He is his own person. I love that about him. I do what he wants to do, though. I'm into the stuff that he's into because I'm into him. See what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like they were that into you because they were trying to make you do what they wanted to do. But then when you didn't want to do it, then they were like, I mean, because what were they going to do? Stop you from doing it? They said, no, that's fine. Do whatever you want to do. But we're not going to be there. And okay, cool. When you show up, yay, you did good, Godzilla. Yay. Okay, cool. But they fucking neglected you for 5 hours while you was up there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Sounds weird. Sounds weird to me.
I don't know. If I'm not asking for attention, I think if I'm seeking attention and affirmation and not getting it, I would consider that to be like emotional neglect.
Okay.
But if I'm getting my emotional needs met and I'm happy, like, I'm not sure. Like, do you really when it comes to like the video game? Because I don't know if you're the same age around me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I could play video games with my friends. I could have them come over. I could go over at their place, and I don't know. It just seemed completely normal.
Hey, when my baby get that old and they start playing video games at my house, I'm playing video games. Actually, I long for the day because I don't play video games now, but I've been itching for my son to start playing video games so I can start playing video games again.
You don't play Mario with your son?
No, he plays Roblox, which is on his iPad. So yeah, that's how he rock. I just sit there with him and yep, he plays the video games and hey, look at this, Dad. And he just be telling me all this stuff. I'm like, oh, damn, that's.
So you never had this thing 7, 8, 9 where it's like you didn't want, when you were with your friends, you didn't really want your parents around?
Well, I was neglected severely. So I wanted my mom around, but at the time I didn't think about it. At the time, I'm sure I felt like I want to do my own thing too. But in reality, I would have loved if my mom was around. I would love if my mom would have like sat with me and watched TV with me and put puzzles together with me. Cause that's what my dad used to do before he got fucking kicked out for being a terrible person. He used to build model planes with us from scratch. Like I remember we bought like,
What made him a terrible person? That's for you to say that, man. What do you mean?
He cheated on my mom and did some terrible shit that I won't speak of. And he molested a girl as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a little different. Okay.
Yeah. He was a terrible. That's all good.
Like I didn't have like a negative experience like if my parents or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, what I do remember on 7, 8, 9 is not wanting my parents around because I could be with my friends and we could say we could say words that we weren't allowed to say around our parents, and we could have conversations about like even at an early age. We were sort of rejecting religion. I grew up in a religious household, and like we were rejecting all that shit because it seemed dumb. We learned about evolution and talked about dinosaurs and apes and things like that. And like we could do all the stuff that we wanted to do, and like I think even one of my friends had those dirty poker cards. And it was just like there's stuff.
But that's the stuff you do when you're neglected, though, Godzilla. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what you do when you're neglected. You're mischievous. You want to, you know what I mean? Like that's what you want to do. I'm not saying like I think that was just how you coped with it, but. That's what I'm saying. Like I could think back to what I felt like and what I did during that age. And yeah, I had fun and yeah, I would curse and you know what I mean? But like I also would have loved if my mom or dad was like there with me, you know what I mean? And like showed up for me and played catch with me in the backyard. And you know, like I remember my mom like playing catch with me. Like I remember the one time, the one memory I have of my mom playing catch with me. We were playing like football in front of my house, and she ended up hurting her knee. I remember going with her to the doctor, and her knee was like this big. It was like a knot on her knee, like this big. It was all swollen. Like I remember that shit. She like fell and hit her knee on a tree stump, and it got all swollen and stuff like that. And but I also remember the feeling I felt, which was pure joy playing football with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought that shit was so lit. And yeah, she was fucking terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, I was way better than her. I was a kid. Like I played, but like it was still so fun just to like play with my mom in that way. You know what I mean? And yeah, my friends were better than her and we could get more rough and all of that stuff. But it was definitely very satisfying to play with my mom. Right. And it was very satisfying for my mom, for me, when my mom would sit down and play video games with me, even though she was garbage, but it was fun when she did it. I remember just laughing and having a good time with her because it wasn't about the game at that point. It was about the connection. But when she wasn't there, yeah, of course I locked in and played a bunch of games and played a bunch of sports and cursed and did stuff that boys do. You know what I mean? Of course I did all of that stuff too. And I made the best of it, but I definitely was neglected. Definitely. I was neglected by my mom and I was abandoned by my father. That's a realization that I had when I got older.
I'm trying to wonder if this is like a city and country thing because like back when I was growing up, it's like I took it for granted that my parents would always be around. Like it's not like I could walk down the street to a couple of friends, but not to that overwhelming vast majority of them. So it was like when I was able to be transported, I would beg for it to happen. Like we would all do this. We wanted to meet up and we wanted to hang out with each other. usually at Ben's house. And this is what we would do. Yeah. And it's like we took it for granted that when we went home that our parents would be there. None of my friends had divorced parents. Most of them were semi-religious, who had at least somewhat semi-religious parents, somewhat middle class. And it's just like the ability to get away from one's parents and exclusively be with one's friends. I think maybe the fact that we took it for granted that our parents would be there, we took them for granted, so we didn't necessarily need to be around them as much. But it was more difficult to be around other kids our own age or to be around with our friends. We couldn't take that for granted because we didn't live in the city. We couldn't just walk down the street over our friends or take the bus. So like it was an ordeal. Like we'd have to, it was an ordeal to get the permission slips from the principal to take the bus to go to the friend, all this stuff. Like it was more, I don't know if it was more complicated than living in the city. So I think maybe the fact that it was more difficult to do and we took our parents for granted, maybe that's the reason we did this.
I don't think this is a city folk situation, but go ahead, Mello. Mello raised his hand a long time ago.
Hey, Pub, I was just saying, I was trying to go through the data, all of this, and there really isn't a right or wrong answer. It just all depends on the communication between you and your parents. Some people...
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, like... Some people can go a week without talking to, mom or dad. Some people can go a month, while others talk every day. So it just depends on the relationship that you establish with them and just how frequent or infrequent you want to talk to them. So there's not really a right or wrong answer.
There is. When we're talking about kids, definitely there's a right or wrong answer. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no, because the older your child gets, the more independent they will come, and as long as you provided them with the ability to make sound.
Mello, you were married? Were you married before?
Yeah.
Okay. You were grown. You were independent, right?
Yeah.
And your wife was independent too, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys talk every day though?
On most days, yeah, but there were some days where depending on how many hours I worked. No, we didn't talk.
You wouldn't talk throughout so you guys wouldn't see each other for 24 hours? You wouldn't text? Nothing? No contact for 24 hours?
Yeah, especially when I was in the military. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's different. Okay. I'll take military because they be having y'all off-site places, shit like that. You think that that's normal for people, married people, to not talk for 24 hours? Not be upset with each other and just like not talk for 24 hours?
Well, no, I wouldn't say it's norm, but it just all depending on, like, I've seen it to where she works days, he works nights, and
they still talk to each other every day.
I'm saying, but it's not as...
It's Mello. It's not this difficult. It's not this difficult. It's not a gotcha question. It's super easy. The answer is, yeah, most people talk to each other every day when they're in a relationship. My point is, what the fuck is the difference between a parent and a child? Why wouldn't a parent talk to their child every day? What's the difference?
Up until what age?
At what age does it stop? Sir, you are married. You are a grown adult. Your wife was a grown adult. Y'all was two independent grown adults, but y'all found a way to talk to each other every day. And you're telling me that it's normal for children and parents to not talk for days and days and days, weeks, months? It's not normal.
I don't get that either. I like to check in with my parents anytime and do so once every couple of hours at a bare minimum, regardless of how stimulated I was by the video games or whatever it also was that I was doing.
Yeah. What'd you say? No? Hold on. Wait. No. We're trying to say something. What'd you say? No?
When you think about children, yeah, I agree with that. I talk to my daughter every day.
At whatever age, no?
No, I disagree with that.
Why?
Well, my son works a full-time job. I still work. We might text here and there, but
your girl don't work a full-time job when y'all was together, or when you was with the woman?
She worked part-time. Yeah.
Most people work full-time. You always say something like, the point is y'all work, but y'all talked every day. So that's not an excuse. Not working isn't an excuse. What else? Give it to me. School, not an excuse. Y'all don't live together, not an excuse. I'm telling you from my perspective, it says a lot about the child rearing process and what happened when your kids were children. When the kids become more independent or independent or whatever you want to say, and they cut off contact with the parent for the most part. They only call the parent when they need something from the parent. That says a lot about how the parent raised them. To me, y'all could argue with that. You could say, nah, that's normal. Fine. To me, it's not. It screams you fucked up somewhere along the way as a parent. To me,
what makes a perfect parent to you? I mean,
there is no such thing as a perfect parent.
Okay, so I mean, it's a moot point, right?
No, wait. So only options I got is a perfect parent or the parent who gets fucking ignored for weeks on end by their kids. Those are my only two options.
I wouldn't say weeks on end. I mean, we can go a couple of days, not talk, work 5 minutes from here, live 10 minutes from here. I mean, it ain't, you know.
I'm just going off what you told me, no? This is what you told me. The way you framed it was
I said that he might go a couple of days without talking, and you said I did something wrong somewhere.
You didn't say he can go a couple of days without talking to me. That's not what you said, sir.
That's what I said.
That's not. Now you add in extras. That's not what you said. No, don't do that. You always.
That's exactly what I said.
That's not exactly what you said. That's not exactly what you said. You never gave a time. You just said we barely communicate. That's what you said. Oh, you dropped.
Yeah, I thought he was taking that to the extreme place.
Yeah, that was wild.
But then apparently, like, my upbringing would have appeared abnormal to you.
Say it again?
I don't know. I feel like the less you need something, or the less you worry about losing something, the more you take it for granted. I don't think you necessarily need that constant reassurance as much.
That's like, maybe if you're a teenager, I mean, I could agree. Like, when you're a teenager, things like that, you do talk to your parents less, right? But when you're, like, you know, under 10 years old, that's, to me, very strange. Like, as a mother, I could never not talk to my children. And I also have children that I have a son that's on the spectrum, but even he and I talk every day. We'll talk about his interests. We'll talk about whatever he wants. A lot of times it's also revolving Roblox or video games or
whatever it is. It don't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, but we talk about it because that's what he likes. So
Yeah.
I know to connect with him, I have to center it around his needs because he's the child. So for me as the adult, I'm supposed to look at him and say, okay, how do I connect with you? What is he into? And connect with him that way because that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I just don't be understanding. Maybe y'all missing something. You know, I'll get there when I get there. But every single time I hear people talking about not being in contact with their parents anymore and me not really being close to my parents like that, I'm like, I could look back on why. I really do be wanting to be, but I'm like, I'm still the kid. Like, it's not up to me to change that shit. I ain't about to change that shit. If they don't want to change it, that's fine. I got my own family. I got my own kids. And I'm making sure I'm going to do everything within my power to make sure that my kids don't not talk to me for days on end and weeks on end and just like, nah, hell no. That's crazy.
See, hey, Pub, the only thing I was trying to say is just the older your child normally gets, their interests change, their friends change, their activity change, their lifestyle changes. So they may not communicate with you as frequently as what they used to because they got a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Duh.
So they may not call you. They may not call you every day. Your relationship didn't diminish.
It did.
It's just that their priorities and everything have shifted because they have a life now.
It definitely diminished.
No, it really didn't diminish. It was just their time and their focus and their activities change. So
what does that got to do?
Come to you.
Apply that. Hold on, wait, Mello. Anything you say about your kid, I want you to apply that same logic to your partner. I just want you to do the same thing and make it make sense. Oh yeah, you know, I got new friends. I got da-da-da-da-da, and I just didn't feel like we need to talk every day. Like, just say the same thing. Like, that is pretty much what it's like for me. It doesn't sound right.
I can understand that, Pub, but you'll see once your sons get older, your children get older, you'll see.
I'll tell you something, Mello. A lot of terrible parents have told me that, and the only thing that they were right about, or what ended up happening was exactly what I thought it was like. It was like a bunch of terrible parents told me, wait till you have kids, you will see. And I had kids, and I was like, oh yeah, y'all are just fucking terrible. That's usually what ends up happening. Terrible parents, telling me that I'm going to see one day as me not being a terrible parent, I'm like, it ain't going to happen. I highly doubt what you're describing ain't going to happen because I'm not no fucking shitty parent.
I know.
And nor is my wife.
Being a crappy parent is just that most people, and would you probably take a poll, most people don't talk to their parents every day. They might talk to them every other day. They might talk to them twice a week. They might talk to them once a week. It's not because they were a crappy parent. It's because now you have a shift of focus. You got your own wife and kids and family that you have to deal with, that you have to, form relationships with. The relationship with your parents didn't change. It's just that
it did change. It literally changed. You went from living with them, you went from talking to them every day to you not talking to them every day. The relationship has changed. Clearly. What's a bigger indicator of relationship changing than that? That's wild. Of course it changed.
All I'm saying is you don't talk. Do you talk to your mom every day?
No, bro. I just told you I don't. But that's because of the relationship that I had with my parents. That's what I'm saying. I can speak to it from experience. I can tell you that it ain't because like my parents were these great ass parents and now I'm 42 and it's just like, yeah, I got my own life. No, I would make it a priority to talk to them if they were there for me more when I was younger.
So just to be clear though, when your mom would play football with you at age 7 or so, you mean like on the video game console or outside throwing the football with you?
She literally was physically playing football with me. There wasn't even a football game invented when I was 7. Maybe it was on the Atari.
Maybe on the original NES, but like I'm a little bit younger than you, not that much. I don't know. I remember my dad like throwing a baseball with me, and I thought it was lame. Like Doom came out in 1993. Do you really expect me to believe that being able to have a shotgun unaliving demons in the depths of hell is supposed to be less enticing than throwing a ball around?
Well, but wait. You said it though. You a nerd. I wasn't. I was an athlete. I played video games too, but I was way more into fighting and wrestling and playing football and hitting people and getting hit and dunking and laying people. Like that's what I was into. That's what you know what I mean? You talking about Doom, that's cool. I was 11 when Doom came out. Right? So yeah, I was 11 when Doom came out. I had Sega. I played Mario. I played Alter Beast, and I played all that shit too. And I would have loved it. My mom, dude, my uncle, I'll never forget, my uncle never played video games. I went over to this fool house. We brought the PlayStation over, long time, it was 20 years ago, had to be. Bought the PS over. I was spanking everybody in Madden. And my uncle was like, oh man, I like this. And that fool, like in his 40s, he just picked up and started playing Madden and got really good at it. And next year he was beating me. And I was like, damn, that's dope. Like, you can play games when you older. If my son want to play video games, I'm going to play games with him. Like, I'm going to sit down and play video games with him. If he wants to play sports, I'm going to play. Well, he plays sports now, but if he really he's not that into sports. But if he wants to play sports, like if he starts like, I'm going to play sports all the time, we going to play sports all the time. I'm going to kick soccer balls around with him. We going to wrestle. We going to fuck, you know what I mean? Like, we going to do what we do. I don't know why you acting like that's not normal. Like, I would rather like be in my room playing Doom. That's how you feel. That's what I was saying. You might, you know what I'm saying? Like that may be on a case by case basis. I just think most kids love to be around their parents when their parents love to be around their kids. That's what I think. And I don't know why that wouldn't be the case.
You are absolutely correct as kids, but as they get older, they're going to grow some independence and their life is going to change. So their wanting to be around you all the time is going to have to change because eventually they're going to have their own family and their own responsibilities.
You keep saying the same thing like I don't understand. I'm not saying that we're going to live together and talk all day long like we do now. But are we going to talk consistently? Yes. Yeah. None of this not talking to your parents for 3 weeks, a month, not seeing them ever. Like, you know what I mean? That shit is crazy. I live in the same city as my mom, and I live probably 20 minutes away from my dad. I mean, I cut off. I go no contact with my dad. My mom lives in walking, or she did for years. She lived in walking distance of me for years. I didn't see her for months at times.
See, going back to my original statement, though, I think you need to gauge it. Like, me and my brother didn't need any attention. My sister absolutely did, constant. And I just I don't know if that's a gender thing or a genetic thing, but that was normal for us.
It wasn't a gender thing. Go ahead, Mello.
I guess, Pub, in which I was going to say, you can also look at it the same way. You can say your core group of friends. There was a time when y'all hung out all the time, y'all talked all the time, but as you became adults and you got more responsible and they got lives, y'all didn't hang out as frequently because everything shifted. So you may have went from hanging out with them every day till a couple days a week till one day a week.
I think my core group of friends, the reason why we split up is because of people's actions. Same way with the parents. But I will say this, I think that this is just proof that men, like with the child support shit, like I was saying earlier, men just are not invested in the rearing of children, and y'all will rationalize the disconnect that children and parents have, right? Thinking that shit is normal, but it's like, it's not normal, bro.
That sounds like abdication of responsibility if you're not involved, though. That's just being a lazy, toxic piece of shit. And I don't think most men are like that.
Most men are lazy and toxic. Like, what are we not? Most men are lazy and toxic. Ask the women. What makes you think most men aren't lazy and toxic?
Well, I think everybody has it again, like when they can be not acting right. But are they 100% toxic and 100% lazy?
I don't do 100%. Hold on, now you're moving the goalpost.
I know. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to move the goalpost, but it's just like, do I think most men are lazy and toxic? I think when I think about my own parents, they had their ups and their downs. They definitely had some weak spots here and there, but it wasn't like negative. It wasn't consistently negative in regards to being either lazy or toxic.
Being toxic is a yes or no thing. You know what I'm saying? And men are most certainly the majority of the time toxic, and men are definitely lazy as fuck. We have constructed our society to reflect how lazy we are. One of the easiest ways to point that out is that how we try to, which my platform talks about often, is stealing the labor of women. We used to steal the labor of children, by the way. Yeah, men are very toxic, very lazy.
Sure, I guess
still
maybe
do
take that for granted. One of the things the church taught us is that every human being sins. And it's just like, what are those specific sins that are a problem for you that you need to handle?
What did the church teach you?
That all human beings sin, and that each individual person is going to have sins that they struggle with handling.
Not everybody's a sinner.
Absolutely, they are.
No, they're not. That's when I knew the Bible was on some bullshit, because not everybody is a sinner.
Some people try to be ultra good all the time, but that's not necessarily even good for yourself.
Says who?
Well, sometimes you need to put yourself first ahead of others. You need to take care of yourself, because
that ain't a sin.
Are going to do it.
But that ain't a sin to do that, to take care of yourself. Don't make you a sinner.
It's a sin to neglect yourself for the sake of others. That's not good.
I wouldn't call that a sin, but no. Yeah, because you're not. Yeah, sir. I'm sorry. Not everybody's a sinner. That's how you know the church on some bullshit. It's some people that never told a lie. There's some people that have never hurt anybody. Like, there are people out there. I think there's a good amount of people out there that could really say that. I know that sounds funny to a lot of people, but I think that there's a lot of people out there that live like that. And men love to act like, there are men who love to act like, my son ain't no sinner. I know that. My son that got autism, how can he sin?
Not yet, but
how can he?
Also, he's neurotypical. But
he's not neurotypical. I'm talking about my son with autism. How can my son with autism be a sinner?
I'm nearly atypical.
Yeah.
But every human being will either be a little bit abusive or a little bit negligent at some point in their lives, even if it's just out of ignorance.
Oh no, bro.
And like nobody's perfect. And I like if you want to say men are toxic and lazy, sure, all people are. I would like if you want to argue that women are less toxic and less lazy, you can have that perspective. I'm not going to agree with it.
Women aren't toxic. As a group?
I think we need to just start stealing men's unpaid labor and then see like how men feel about it, and then we can be like, all right, now women are finally selfish.
Only men can steal men's unpaid labor, Neuro.
No, I'm trying. No, I'm trying. Okay.
We would never let women do that to us. No. Yeah, I don't know about being perfect and shit like that, but let me read the super chat. Antoine said, I can't play these new games, but I can play some Mario Kart 64 and NBA Live 96. That's a fact. I'm terrible at the new games.
The new games are shit.
I can't play them. Also, did anyone blame single mothers yet? Nope, not yet. Tonight just said, did you not need the time/attention from your parents, or did they just raise you to believe that boys don't need all that? That's a good question. That's for you, Godzilla.
I don't know. When I was a kid, as long as I didn't like do something wrong, I was able to do whatever I wanted to do, and I liked that. And I made sure I didn't stay in the trouble so that I could always do things that I want to do. The worst thing that I could ever be was bored. Like to be grounded was the worst thing ever. Like if I really effed up, I would have gotten the belt. But for the most part, being grounded, not being allowed to leave my room with nothing to do, like that was the word that's hell on earth for me. I remember one time when I went to my grandparents' house for Christmas, and there was nothing to do for like that week of Christmas that you're off, those 7 days or whatever that precedes that you're off of school. And I remember lying on the couch crying because I was so bored, and there was nothing to do.
How old were you?
Probably 7 or 8 at that point.
Oh, okay. That's young enough to still do that, I guess. I was like, go ahead, Nero.
I was gonna ask if it's possibly that it was escaping, because even through video games, things like that, we can sometimes use that to escape our reality, right? Like if we do have neglectful parents, we can use video games or illicit substances or whatever the case may be to escape our reality, right? Those are how people temporarily escape. Their problems are still waiting for them, right, when they come back. But that's why I think a lot of people don't like boredom. And I'm not talking young kids, because obviously that's very different. But like when it comes to adults who can't stand boredom or being alone with themselves or their own thoughts or serial daters or things like that, it's because they can't be alone with themselves to have those thoughts. They cannot even handle, whatever happened in their past, to sit with that. And that's a sad thing. That's not me mocking them. That is just
a reality. Yep. Go ahead, Dex. What's good with it? What's good with you, Dex?
Could it just be that video games at my age, they seemed really freaking awesome, and I loved them, and I wanted to spend as much time as I could playing them?
Nah. I don't think so. What up, Dex?
What's up, bub?
Chilling, man.
Hey, Daryl. Interesting conversation. Well, a lot was said, so I'll be brief with a couple of things I wanted to talk. So I went through divorce and child custody and stuff like that too. But in my situation, it wasn't expensive because I didn't really find anything, because I was more concerned about making sure that my daughter was going to be in a safe place. So that being said, I actually had the choice of having full custody. I chose not to because of health issues at the time. I was actually in the hospital at the time.
Oh no.
So it was just a better choice, and she is a great mom. So it was
easy.
It was an easy choice for me. You know what I mean? Regardless of what happened with us, you know what I mean? I wouldn't use my daughter to, and we didn't do that. We actually had a nice clean break, and we co-parent really well.
That's good.
Like we talk about child support and stuff like that, and we talk about that and we settle that, and that's that. When it comes to the parents being like more involved, like I'm like you, Bob. Like people used to always tell me, because my daughter is 12, and they would always say, well, she's going to do this or she's going to do that. She's, terrible twos. And then when she get older, she's 12. I've never seen that with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
we do have a really good relationship. But she is very independent. She's not a dependent kid at all. But the thing is, I get to learn her, what she likes, what she don't like, and I change how I am with her. So then I involve myself with her. Like, she likes certain video games, I start learning the video games. She likes certain things that she likes to watch, I start watching it too, because that's how we bond and that's how we spend time together. She will have her times where, because she's into sports a lot, and she gets home really late. Well, we live like about 2 hours away, so we don't get to see each other often. To the point now, I'm actually selling my house to move closer, because she's been vocal about it. Like, you know, I really want you to move closer because we don't get, get to spend much time together. But that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know where guys get this thing that kids will just not have a, like, just because they get older, that they would just, like, forget you as a parent. Like, that never happened. Even with my parents, that never happened with my parents either. And my mom lived in Trinidad. But we still talk, we still video talk, we still message, we still text. Like, it have ways, and even when we get busy, just sending a text, hey, how you doing? Like, you know what I mean? She'll send me back a text later on. Like, it's not like my daughter will just pick up as soon as I message her and she would just reply right away. But we still have a good relationship. We still communicate really well. Like, so I think it is majority men, because think about this simple statement. Women are nurturers. Men are just providers and protectors.
Mm-hmm.
That alone shows that men do not actually put a lot of thought into learning who their kids are. You know what I mean? And building a bond, like a really close bond. Because my dad was like that. Although he was in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was only till I was 40 years old, right before my dad passed, I actually had a conversation with him. And me and my dad's close.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I was like, I know you love me, but you have never actually said it.
What?
Yeah, he's never said. I actually told him that. And it didn't even register to him. Because to him, acts was the way he showed it. He wasn't an affectionate person, because he was taught to be this manly man. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, his acts would be that way. But, like, verbally saying it, or, like, hugs and stuff like that, that wasn't there. Now, I could go and talk and hang out with my dad all the time. I could go to buy a bottle of scotch and sit down, and we could, reason and talk and laugh and stuff like that, and go out and stuff. Like, those type of things, like, yes. But when it comes to, like, the affectionate side, like, my dad wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Until we had that conversation, then he actually did it. Because it kind of hit him. Like, you know what I mean? And I had to do it, like, when I left, like, for the night or something, like, we will hang out, because he was a mechanic. And I would literally, when I leave, and I would say, love you, man, and I would give him a hug. Like, it was strange at first to him, because his dad was like that too. But after I broke that seal, every day we would end up doing that. But, like, with me and my mom, that was normal. Like, you know what I mean? So you could be in the house and still be like involved and still not have that true connection.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah, and a lot of us men, just because of the nature of how we were taught, we would fight it. Because, like, with my sister, my little sister, when my sister was born, my dad changed. He actually started to resent her because she was bringing out this soft side of it. So he was fighting it, because it happened. Because she was bringing out that side of him, he would, like, softly push her away, because he didn't want to break that manly side of it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and he was always there with us. He was in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of dads will be in the house but not be there. up here.
Right, and he was there, you know, he made sure we had a house over our head, and made sure we had everything we needed and stuff like that. But when it came to the emotional side and actually teaching us to be well-rounded humans, that wasn't there. I only know about working from him, just working.
Yep. And there you have it. And that's why I say most, and I don't know if most men are that extreme, but they're closer to that than they are to like nurturing. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I've been saying. Like, men don't be showing up in the household. So most men don't. Most fathers don't.
Because it's not like all of a sudden we're the nurturers.
Yeah.
Like,
when did that happen?
I don't get this. Oh, men will just try to switch, you know, I mean, with the topic, switch all of a sudden we're the nurturers. No, we've passed on.
Or just that we're nurturing, because they'll admit that we're not the nurturers and we're not very nurturing when it suits them. But then when you have this conversation, like you said, now it switches up. Now it's like, oh no, fathers are there, fathers show up, and I don't think most dads do that. Like, really? Are we sure about that? Because they don't.
Until they ask for full custody, then suddenly they're nurturing. Upon the divorce, men suddenly become nurturing. I've noticed that. That's a sudden thing. They develop new skills where they're like, I couldn't do this when we were together, and I left all the domestic labor to you and expected you to do everything for the kids. But now that we're divorced, I'm going to tell the judge that I'm the one who took care of the child and raised the child and bathed the child. That's what my ex-husband did, by the way.
Jesus.
But many men do that because they say, I want full custody. That way they think they won't have to pay
child support. Yeah.
So they'll claim that they were the nurturing, loving, great father of the year. Like my ex-husband tried that and he worked midnights. I was like, when were you caring for the baby? You worked midnights.
In his mind's eye.
You know, and I was the one getting up at night because he had to sleep during the day for work. And then he had to work at night, you know, and he tried telling the judge that he was the main caregiver. And I'm just like, that's like literally physically impossible. Like, you know?
Yeah, a lot of men, Onyx said it right now. She said that men weaponize custody. That's a fact. That's what it's a loose tooth heathen running around this app right now. He be talking about that. Go get your babies. He always be telling the men to go. Now, I don't got no problem with men getting them babies. Right? But I want y'all to get the babies if the mom actually isn't the better parent. Like, if you honestly believe that you're the better parent, cool, go get the baby. That's fine, right? I would rather y'all go get the baby than to turn around and blame single mothers for everything as if y'all couldn't have got them. I'm like, if the moms are so bad, why don't y'all go get them, right? Cool, I'm with you going to get them. But y'all know that that woman is better than you at raising that kid. Y'all know that that woman was with that baby shooting in the gym this whole time, and you wasn't. You know that. But they'll use it in court, like Neuro just was saying, to get custody of the baby. So that all for two reasons. It ain't just so they don't pay child support. It's also to spite the woman. Shoot, I just saw a video of a young boy talking about how some girl tried to trap him with a baby, and then come to find out the baby wasn't his, and then he like did something, ended up getting custody of the baby. I don't know if it was real. It seemed real though. It seemed real. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sitting there like, wow. And he like showed the baby on camera, and then the dude was like, "So what you gonna tell the baby when the baby get older?" And he was like, "I honestly ain't even thought that far." He said, "I ain't even thought that far."
Did you hear about the Reddit one where the man basically coerced his pregnant girlfriend to keep the pregnancy? She wanted to have an abortion. She explained that she would never be involved in the child's life, and she explicitly said, if I can't have an abortion, I'm going to give this child up for adoption. And he said, no, I will get full custody. And she goes, fine, but the only way I'm going through this is if we sign over and you get full custody. She goes, I want no involvement whatsoever. I'll be happy to pay child support, but I will have no involvement in the child's life. So the father's like, okay, cool. So he basically coerced her through the pregnancy, forces her to give birth to this baby, and then he goes on to Reddit crying, I'm a single father. She's a deadbeat mother. She's not doing anything. She pays 125% of child support. So she pays more than she was court ordered to pay. But he thought that the pregnancy hormones that she would change her mind and magically want to become a mother. And when she didn't like turn around and stay with him, he tried to like baby trap her, which a lot of men do, believe it or not. They baby trap the woman. They'll intentionally get her pregnant, mess with her birth control, right? And then be like, you need to have this baby. That way they have access to that woman forever, right? That's their attempt at least. So he tried to baby trap her. She ended up saying no. She ended up getting like surgeries, got like her tummy tucked, ended up looking amazing. He ended up so angry saying, how dare you get a tummy tuck? How dare you continue to work at a gym as I'm here by myself, a single father raising this child, and I'm so tired. And judge, can't you make her watch the baby? And the judge is like, no, she signed over rights and she pays you child support. And he was so angry. That's what usually happens if they get full custody. I've noticed it. Most of the time they just hand it to their wife or their mother. Because I've noticed another thing, when single dads get custody of their daughters or sons, a lot of times, it's the new girlfriend or wife who's the one in court doing all the paperwork, doing all the work for him. Like they'll just go, oh, well, my woman helped me get full custody of my kid. They won't admit that to most people, but like in private, behind closed doors, they'll admit that, or like if she's there. But otherwise they'll be like, I fought for my kid. I did everything, but it's really the new girlfriend. That's the other thing I see.
Yeah, that happens all the time too. Damn. Well, go ahead, Mello.
Now, if you listen to everything she just said, it actually makes sense about how she went down and signed a waiver to say she didn't want nothing to do with this child and she'll pay child support, da-da-da. So that's considered a deadbeat mom. Now, if you flip that,
she pays child support, though. That's not deadbeat.
How is that? Wait, hold on. Wait.
Hang on, listen.
How's that deadbeat?
Because if a man only pays child support, but he never sees his kid, doesn't spend any time with it, has no instrument, he's still considered a deadbeat father.
Hold on. Are we? Hold on, Mello. Hold on. Mello. Do a 1-to-1, and just keep in mind, you can't do a 1-to-1 because it is the woman's choice to keep the baby. So you can't even do a 1-to-1 because if a man gets a woman pregnant, he can't say, well, I don't want to have that baby, so you should get it aborted. He can't say that because it's her body, right? But let's do a 1-to-1 as close as we can. If a man tells a woman, if a woman tells a man, impregnate me. If you impregnate me, all I want is the baby. You don't have to come around. You don't have to do anything. And the man goes, cool, I'll impregnate. I'll be a sperm donor pretty much. And they do, which they have sperm donors, right? But let's say they did it in the old fashioned way. And he lays down with her, he gets her pregnant, and she has the child, and he signed over rights, and he's paying 125% of child support. Nobody would call him a deadbeat. Nobody would call him a deadbeat.
You can say that, Pub, but I just dealt with a whole panel full of people, a whole room where that was the topic.
It wasn't.
Is time considered?
It wasn't the topic. Mello, it wasn't. Mello, it wasn't the topic. The topic wasn't if a man agrees with the woman to be essentially a sperm donor, is he a deadbeat? Was that the topic?
No.
Okay, then that wasn't the topic then, because that's the whole point.
Public, I was saying that time is just as important as money. If a guy
sign over rights. Unless you sign over rights. If you sign over rights, you're signing over any parental responsibility. You can't make medical decisions. You can't make schooling decisions. I had an ex-boyfriend that signed over all rights to his first son because his ex wanted to get remarried. The father wanted to marry the child. He wanted nothing to do. He never paid child support, but he claimed to me that she was a vengeful ex who used it for nails when really he was court ordered to pay $25 a week. So I don't know how that was going to nails. So it's kind of funny. But, in retrospect, I learned when I got older. But regardless, he ended up signing away all rights, never had to pay a dime in child custody, and never got the ability to see him or make any medical decisions. Now, he was a deadbeat beforehand because he never paid child support, but once he signed over the rights, I would say, hey, then you're clear, right? At that point, you have no parental obligation. You signed over any parental obligation you had. So you can't be a deadbeat if you have no parental obligation to the child, if you signed over the rights. And if in that state, they declare that you are now not financially obligated. Some states, they will continue to make you financially obligated. New Jersey back then, this is going back to 2006, you weren't financially obligated. So therefore, he would not have been considered a deadbeat father. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone.
I think that, I don't know about like legally deadbeat or whatever. I know it's not a legal term, but the concept of it, I'm not saying that, but you are a deadbeat to me. The only way you're not a deadbeat father or a deadbeat parent is what the situation that you just described. If you at any point in time agree to have this child, the child is now here. You do not get to change your mind at any point in time. You don't. You can agree to be in the child's life. Yes. You can never change your mind and say, I don't want to be in the kid's life. I'm signing over I don't give a fuck. You're still a deadbeat. You sign over your rights, you're still a deadbeat because you signed up to take care of the kid. I'm saying whether as a man is different. As a man is different. If you lay down with the woman, you are consenting to the possibility that you may have a child. If you don't like that, don't lay down with her or use protection. Those are your options.
I was gonna say my mom was a deadbeat. She waited till I was 12, and then she hopped on a plane and met a man online and ran off to England, and I didn't see her for 10 years and left 4 children with my alcoholic dad.
Damn.
So my mom was a deadbeat. So
that's a deadbeat, yeah.
Really mad. Yeah, she never paid a dime of child support because why? If you try to go to England and try to get child support, they will not extradite you for a charge like child support or abandonment. They'll only extradite you for bigger charges like, red rum or things like that. That they have to send you back. But child support, they won't care. Like if you go to a different country, they won't go after it.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
I need something squared. Mello, how did you get from this story that the woman didn't want the child at all? The man manipulated her and tricked her into continue to have it.
He did not manipulate her, and he did not trick her.
Okay,
he did.
Yes, let me describe it. Because she said she didn't want it. And she said he convinced her to do it and he will take it. When she did, she lived up to her side of it. And then he tried to change the deal after.
Yeah.
And then now painted her
as a deadbeat.
When she was upfront about it, told him, hey, it's better we don't have it because I don't want it. I don't want nothing to do with it. He made, and his motivation was thinking that she would change because during pregnancy she would get attached. That is classic manipulation.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find out, how did you listen to that story and think a deadbeat would have been like, and it would be one-to-one where a woman have the child willingly and then choose to walk away and abandon the child because of
whatever.
Whatever. Yes. How did those things one-to-one in your head? How did that?
Check it out, Dex. This is how her story was unique, but I applied it this way. If you take any woman and she said, well, I'm going to have your kid, and that man says, I don't want nothing to do with that kid. I'm going to sign over my rights.
Mello, please stop. No. Mello, I'm trying to tell you that I already told you it can't work that way because it's her body. So only power you have as a man, whether that baby is born or not, is to either not lay with her or go like get a vasectomy or something like that. That's the only power you have. But if you lay with a woman, unprotected or protected, don't matter. Anytime you lay with a woman, you are, to me, consenting to at least the possibility that a pregnancy can happen from this. You do not get to say, well, I don't want the baby.
Wait a minute, right. But technically, here in California, almost in any state, even when she says, I'm impregnated with your child, once that child is born, you can go down to the courts and sign over all your documents.
And you still got to pay child support.
No, you don't. In most cases, you do not. You have nothing to do with that kid whatsoever. You have no financial obligation. You don't have to deal with it. That child is non-existent.
I don't think that's true. That doesn't make any sense.
That's very true.
So you're telling me that all these men could easily be avoiding child support if they just signed over their rights? That's not true. Yep. It's not true.
Yes.
Why are they all complaining about it?
It's not true.
Because most men don't want to go down to court to file the required documentations to get their name.
Because they're lazy to do the paperwork. That's the same reason women file for divorce more. Because a lot of men say, "I'm not going to fill out the paperwork for a divorce, even if she cheats on me."
I mean, absolutely. That's probably a reason why.
But Mello, in the scenario, she literally is with saying that she never wanted the child. She still financially lived up to her side of it and pays extra, knowing that she never wanted to have anything with the child. She still takes care of the child financially.
And she risked her life to bring that child into the world for that man. Like every time a woman is pregnant, and especially women of color the most, you are literally the closest you will ever be to, you know what store. You will be the closest to unaliving in that moment. That is when you are the closest to the other side than any other time in your life. So the fact that he coerced her, right? She said straight out, "I want an abortion." He said, "No, have my baby." She risked her life to have said baby, continues to pay child support for a baby that she was coerced to have, right? The fact that all of that came together and you're like, oh, it's the same thing. It's not though. Like, I want to know a man that has risked his life from a pregnancy in a relationship with a woman, a cis man and a cis woman. I've never seen that scenario. Never, not once. Unless you can describe to me when that happened, I've never seen it.
No,
hold on, let me wait, Mello. Hold on, wait. So this is just one state, but this is what I think it is for most states, generally speaking. Child support after signing over parental rights. In Georgia, a child is looked upon as the financial responsibility of two people. Signing over your parental rights does not end your obligation to financially support your child. The only situation that ends your child support obligation, other than your child turning 18, is for someone else to adopt your child. The only way they can do this is if you first sign over your parental rights. So that's what I thought. Parental rights just mean you don't have a claim to make in that kid's life. Like you can't say, oh, I don't want them to go to this school. I don't want them to not leave the state because I'm here and they want to move to Texas or whatever. Like that's what parental rights mean. You do not have the option to just say, nah, I'm going to sign over my rights and now I'm out of paying child support. That don't even fucking make sense, Mello. On his face, that don't make sense. Why wouldn't more men do it? I don't care how lazy men are. All these men complaining about child support. They done went to the court for. We know somebody right now talking about her. They can't even serve her baby daddy papers. He's working odd jobs under the table to stay off of the radar. You telling me that this man wouldn't go to court and sign over his rights to his kids? Like that's fucking stupid.
Reading straight out of Google. Child support after termination. If a parent's rights are terminated and they were not ordered to pay child support before, they are typically no longer financially responsible for the child. That coming straight out of Google.
It's a child support before, but a lot of times they are ordered to pay child support.
If they've never went and been ordered to pay child support and they terminate those rights, they're not going to have them because that child is basically no longer theirs. It's basically like they were deleted.
So they're complain about child support, and they're not just not doing what you're saying because they're lazy or whatever. You're just not right.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. What if? So basically, what you're saying is on day one, that baby is born because you can't do it before, right? So the baby comes out September 29th. You're saying that on September 30th. Because no child support, you can go down there and sign over your rights, and you won't have to pay child support.
Child support owed before termination. If a parent's rights are terminated, but they still owe child support, they are legally required to pay the amount owed. It says parental rights can be terminated voluntarily by the parent or involuntarily by the court. This can happen for a variety of reasons, including adoption, abandonment, or abuse. However, a parent simply give up their rights to avoid paying child support in custody disputes. So depending on what that court determines, you may not have to pay child support.
But most do, because it even says a parent can't give up their rights.
It does not say most. That's your personal feeling. It depends on the court.
Read that over again, because it's saying talking about like when it comes to 90% of the time, the they're going to order child support, so it's pointless.
Child support was set up because of that. The original reason for child support, the reason it was created was by men, right? Because women did not have the right to even own property when child support was first enacted. So a lot of women could not even get custody of their children back then. Like, I'm going back 200 years ago, okay? So because women couldn't legally own property on their own, especially if they're divorced or, you know, their husband unwived and they had no way to or means to own property, they were not able to get custody of their children. So therefore, the children would end up where? In an orphanage, right? So because there are so many children in orphanages, and because the fathers often would get full custody that weren't living, right? The fathers would get full custody of the children, especially because women would unalive in labor like all the time. So there are tons of fathers with children that needed to work. So what did they do? They dropped off their kids in orphanages, abandoned them because they didn't have any family members able to take care of the children unless they were significantly wealthy, which was rare in that time. Then there were orphanages overflowing, and they said, you know what? We need to find a way for the state to recoup money for these children because they're costing us an arm and a leg and we can't even feed them. Thus, men started child support to try to recoup that money from the fathers. So literally, it was a system set up by white men in the patriarchy, literally, to get money back for the children because they knew that these children had to have food in their bellies. And to this day, child support is set up to try to reimburse the custodial parent, not to just pay for, but reimburse for a portion of what the child needs, whether that's food, clothing, etc. That is what it is. So yes, even if you sign over parental rights, you may still have to pay child support till they're 18. There are cases where you don't, right? Like, for example, if the child is adopted, like we just talked about, right? In those cases, oftentimes the financial obligation goes to the new adoptive parent, right? But if they're not adopted, a lot of times you will still end up paying child support, even if you didn't want the child, even if it doesn't matter. Like, the emotions don't matter because the child at the end of the day still needs food in his belly or her belly, and they still need clothes on their backs.
Yeah, I'm not understanding. I'm not able to process how, just on its face, how stupid that is to believe that you can just simply sign over your rights and you don't have to pay child support. Like, that's fucking nuts. Like, what? Everybody would be doing that shit.
Because there was no child support order established. So if you already terminate your rights before there was a child support order established, then they can tell you, no, you don't have to pay child support because you technically don't have a child.
I bet money that even if you did that, Mello, and that woman hit you up for child support, the vast majority of the time the case would, the courts would go, nah, you still got to pay child support.
That can be Google, but that's a statistic that you really can't find.
That's not it. There. What do you mean? It just says like it can happen. What you're saying can happen. It's possible, but is it probable? Is it likely? No, it's not likely or probable.
There's some states where you can't even get divorced if your wife is pregnant, and that's regardless if it's your child or not. You could be separated for 8 months or 2 years, right, but not file the paperwork for divorce. And in certain states, you can't even get divorced while she's pregnant. Like, first of all, think about how terrifying that is for DV for women, right? Like, let's say your husband is abusive. As soon as he gets you pregnant, you can't leave him. You cannot file for divorce. You cannot get service. And like, it's so freaking disturbing in my mind to know that. But knowing that pregnant people can't even get divorced in certain states while they're pregnant, because again, they have to establish custody. Also, if your name's on the birth certificate, a lot of times, boom, you're paying child support. It doesn't matter. It started as soon as they're born. In some states now in the South, they're trying to enact child support at the moment of conception, thanks to the pro-life laws in certain states. And if they do this national ban that everybody's all gung-ho about, all men are going to start paying at the moment of conception once Republicans get the way. And that doesn't matter if you're the father or not, because you'll just end up paying, right? So, like, this is why I say to people, like, the patriarchy, as much as men think it helps them, it also hurts them as well, and they don't realize until it's too late.
That's so dangerous for women to make men start paying at the inception. Like, a lot more pregnant women will be getting unalived.
There already is. The homicide rate for pregnant women has gone up exponentially.
I know, yeah.
Also the leading cause of unaliving
for
pregnant women, especially women of color.
Yeah.
But all pregnant women overall.
No, it's not. I'm going to stop it right here.
Mello, stop. Stop, Mello. Stop, Mello.
These are stats, no public.
Mello.
See, this is what I tell you. This is when I step up and I tell you, ma'am, that is a bold-faced lie. The leading cause of women having problem or deletions during pregnancy is heart conditions.
That's not what she said.
It's
wait.
not homicide. It is not even for women of color. It's not homicide. So please go back and recheck your stats and don't put that out.
I'm looking at it right here. You can find it like
Look
everywhere.
at the updated
Here's
stats.
Harvard. Have you ever seen a Harvard School of Public Health? I don't know if you've heard of them, but they also say that homicide is a leading cause of unaliving for pregnant women in the U.S. And this was October 21st, 2022. So fairly recent.
He said the updated stats.
And this is
like to the minute.
So I need to know, like, if you're saying this is not, and that Harvard University is incorrect, that Harvard School of Public Health is incorrect. I just want to know, just to be fair, because you know what, I could always be wrong. All humans, you know, have a moment of error. What is your? Yes, please, thank you. That's all I want to know because I want to look it up.
Is it for a certain demographic of women, like a certain age group of women, Neuro? Or is it just all women?
It's across the board.
Okay.
It's completely across the board. And it's also spiked even more since Roe, unfortunately. But we obviously saw that coming. But also just maternal mortality overall has spiked, especially in states, well, pretty much only in states where the abortion bans are, of course. Texas had a 56% spike in maternal mortality. Sorry, that's a tongue twister. In the last 2 years, 56% in 2 years, it went up maternal mortality. That's what abortion bans do.
I'll be honest with you. I don't understand how anybody within childbearing years can live in a state like Texas. I don't even want to go to Texas. Like, I don't even want to go. Like, but I would never, you couldn't pay me to live in Texas. My wife could still have kids? Never. Crazy.
I think the only way you could make that fair was if we've had boys get vasectomies when they hit puberty, which if they're reversible doesn't sound like a horrible idea.
They're not reversible. After like 2 years, they're hard to reverse. Everybody make it seem like...
They actually are. I think you have 90% after 10 years, you have 80% after 20 years. So as long as you're not waiting till you're like 105 to have kids, you should be fine.
After 2 years is hard, but I could be wrong.
My daughter said something to me a couple weeks ago, which blew my mind. She said that looking at all these species on this planet, humans are the only species that where the females will literally live and mate with their oppressors.
They'll do what?
They will live, live and mate with their oppressors.
Oh,
She's 12. And she said that.
Well, she cracked the code already. She good to go, baby. You doing something right.
And if you're around Jersey, I have a 12-year-old daughter too, so maybe we could hook them up for a play date because I need more of that around my daughter.
Nero, why would a vasectomy cause permanent infertility if you can simply repair the passageways? Is because the testicles stop working?
It's actually fairly rare, but you could always, like, if we were going to play, like, okay, let's say everybody wants to have kids, right? And not everybody does, but men by far want to have kids more than women. That's proven, at least statistically right now in this time period. But let's say they wanted to, right? You could just freeze them, pop them in the freezer. Like, that's the amazing thing about these quote unquote people that exist in test tubes. They claim they're people, but you could just put them in the freezer. All you have to do is freeze some of your seed. It's also not a bad idea for men at a young age to freeze some of their seed, because I don't know if men know this. Like, I know a lot of men talk about women's age and when they get older and older and how less fertile they are, more chances to have adverse reactions to pregnancies and have more likely to have complications or genetic issues. Like, and I have genetic conditions myself, but they've actually done studies and found that men's, sperm, once a man gets above 35, he also has a much higher chance of having children with genetic issues, other health issues. So actually, not just women, and our eggs that age, it's also men's sperm. And a lot of people don't talk about that because they think that, I saw this 9-year-old have a kid. And I'm like, okay, well, is it a healthy kid? Like, not to be rude, but yes, men can also have children until their 90s and things like that, but that doesn't mean that child is going to be healthy. Just like I have a bunch of genetic disorders and things like that, it's more prevalent the older the sperm is, actually. The paternity, like the paternal age at childbirth actually matters. They've done all new studies that have found this out, that the older the father is, the more complications and health issues the child has, and even the more likely for the woman to have a complicated pregnancy or labor, like postpartum eclampsia, is often linked with the father as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm looking this up. I can't figure out why a vasectomy would cause permanent infertility as long as you can repair the passageways. I mean, all the crazy other stuff in science that we can do, it just seems like that would be a no-brainer, unless the testicles just stop functioning for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's honestly, I think the only reason they don't recommend doing that for society is because quite literally men have never had to have their autonomy restricted. Only women have. As far as when it comes to childbirth, we know with birth control, for example, they did make a birth control for men.
They took it
women
off.
have horrible side effects, including cancer, including serious issues for a lot of women, right? Permanent hormone imbalances, all different things, right? But with men, they started getting some belly aches and some acne, so they stopped the trial.
Yeah, we know men wouldn't take birth control anyway. But no, I don't think anybody should have their, I don't think we shouldn't be getting more regressive. You know what I'm saying? So making little boys get vasectomies is wild. The same way
I agree. I don't think their autonomy should be restricted either. I don't think any human being's autonomy should be restricted. I agree.
Not necessarily make, but like you can socially reinforce something to the point where it becomes normalized.
No, I don't even want that to be a normal thing. I want the normal thing to be people respect themselves and people use protection and all of that stuff, because that's the thing. That's the thing that we should be teaching, and we could do that, to me, right? And you don't got to people don't have to run around getting a fucking surgery all the damn time. You know what I mean? Like, you could just, wear a fucking condom. Wear a condom.
I agree with what you're saying, but it's like 15 minutes in a laser. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, yes, but it's still their rights to their body. That's the bigger issue. It violates their bodily consent and things like that. Like, that's where I think it does violate a line. Because I think we have a right to determine what happens to our bodies, right? I have a right to restrict someone from my body. I have the right to say no to somebody taking my blood or my organs. So for me, I feel like even men as well, they have the right to say, hey, I have the right to retain my body medically and somebody not enter my body against my consent.
And also, where learning how to protect yourself stops a whole lot of other stuff too, not just pregnancies. Getting a vasectomy will only stop you from getting pregnant, right? In theory, but learning how to protect yourself and and wear a condom and whatnot will protect you against all the other shit too. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Men don't actually want to like cure anything. We're always trying to figure out a way to have our cake and eat it too. Always. It's never about like, let's find the actual solution. Because the solutions take a lot of effort, they take a lot of time, they take a lot of energy, right? And you actually have to fucking show up and participate. The men are going to have to show up and participate. So it's like, what can I do to skirt all responsibility or as much responsibility as possible? Oh, I know, a vasectomy. That seems like a good, we're going to meet in the middle kind of situation. Like, I'm not going to wear a condom, but at least I won't get her pregnant. Like, what? No, wear a fucking condom. So you don't get her pregnant and you don't get anything and you don't give her anything. How about that? And then you guys get married and then, or whatever, you get in a committed relationship, not married, but you get in a committed relationship and then you can take the condom off. And then you can go get tested every fucking month or whatever you need to do to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do to protect, like, teach the kids that is the cure. That's the cure. Anything short of that isn't a cure, right? You're just helping, but you're not curing you're not going to cure anything. And men are not interested in curing shit like this. We're not, man. We want to keep the cash cow alive. We want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we like that shit. Like, nah, we only so much.
Also, we also need to take the arrests and jailing of rapists seriously as well, because 97% of rapists don't spend a day in jail.
Yep.
So that's according to rain.org. If anybody wants to check it, that is a statistic. 97% of people who commit that crime. Like, I felt very fortunate that mine got, like, the man who did that to me got a whopping 7 months and then got out on good behavior. Because for me, that's a long sentence for men. Look at, Brock Turner got 6 months and then he got out on 3 months on good behavior, So, like, the fact that mine got 7 months after he denied that we ever did, and I was interrogated horribly by the cops, and then finally he said I was all over him, but we never went all the way. But then his DNA somehow magically showed up in my cervical swab. Gee, wonder how that happened. Because it did happen. That's when he got the 7 months. So I feel very grateful for that, at least. At least he got some time. But we need to actually start persecuting men who do that instead of living in a society that says, why did they wait so long to come forward? Why were they dressed this way? Yet say nothing when the Boy Scouts of America men came forward. Nobody asked why they took so long to come forward. Nobody asked what they were wearing because they were children and innocent and men. So they were instantly believed. But when women do, it's not treated the same. And so we need to take a society where women are actually believed and we actually persecute those who commit those crimes and not protect their image. And what about his, his name, and don't drag his name through the mud. We need to stop that. And then maybe things will change.
Do you think that
cucumbers off, if we confirmed that they were guilty, I think that would go a long way. Like, say what you like about the Middle East, they keep you from stealing because if they catch you, they cut your hand off.
That doesn't stop people from stealing.
Well, it certainly cuts down on it, and I think
no, it doesn't.
If we cut the cucumbers off of grapists, then I think there'd be a lot less grapists.
No, why are y'all? Why do you guys think that medieval punishment is gonna stop men from doing anything when they was doing that shit during those times and women was getting raped by the fucking boatload? Don't nobody care about that shit. A rapist is going grape, bro. They don't care. They are impulsive. You think they really are like, okay, I'm going to grape. Now, I can do up to 3 grapes a year. No, bro. They're impulsive. They're going to do it. Grape is going to happen. Murder is going to happen at times, right? If you want to, once again, hold on. Once again, it's another example of men actually not wanting to address the fucking issue. The issue isn't the punishments aren't strong enough. That's not the issue. The issue is we don't teach boys consent. The issue is we tell little boys and we tell boys who become men that women owe us their bodies. These are the issues. If you socialize little boys into respecting women, guess what? Rape will go down significantly. But if you tell boys, if you do it, we're going to castrate you, it might go down a little bit for a little while. But here's the thing. The vast majority of rapists don't get caught. So why would it deter them? What's the likelihood that the likelihood that they get caught? Now, look, this will be another deterrent. If 97% of rapists were caught, okay. I think that would deter people. I can see that.
Here's the thing. They could get caught, but the justice system, police, judges, they literally protect.
Oh, yeah, no, hold on, wait. I don't want to play this. I'm saying, let's say they get caught, they get prosecuted, they get 10 years, whatever, right? They get punished, appropriately. If 97% of rapists got arrested, prosecuted, convicted, and had to serve significant time, yep, I think you could see grape fall. Like, it would plummet too. I do. You ain't got to castrate them. Just put them in jail. That's it. But it's not just the castration part. It's the fact that they know who gets caught. I could always just say I didn't do it. I can always say I didn't do it. Because who's going to believe this woman? Who believes women? Nobody does. I know I don't. When Neuro said that she got raped, I asked her what she was wearing. When Neuro said that happened to her, I was like, why did you go out so late? Like, that's how most men know that. We know that as men. That's my point. So the solution isn't cut off penises. That's fucking crazy. That's barbaric and archaic as fuck. Let's move forward. We can't see that. What does that say?
Former cop accused of unaliving pregnant woman. By the way, she was a child when.
I saw this.
So she was literally a child. He raped her over and over again. She eventually became pregnant with this child and became an adult. And he unalived her to kind of cover it all up because then they would know that he was a child rapist.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the cops protecting. That's what that looks like.
That's what they do.
Well, what do you know about that? Well, what do you know about that? My brother from another mother. I love you, brother. How you doing, man? You good?
Yes, sir. Are you talking to me? Who you talking to?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, what's up, man? I'm like, who the fuck? I don't know you. What's good with it, man?
You know, I follow you. Sorry about my sore throat. You know,
You good?
I was talking to a whole bunch of Nigerians last night, so you know, I lost my fucking throat, my voice. Pause on that one. But that's it. Yo, I'm so happy to be here on your platform. And I love you, brother. And I love you're very, very balanced, man. I love how balanced that you are. No doubt about that. But sometimes, sometimes it can be a little bit harsh, brother. You already know. It can be very harsh. So there's a lot of us who are out here, and
we can't hear you.
I'm so sorry. If
there you go.
My apologies.
You're good.
You know what? Let me open my back door.
Your phone just got muffled for a second. It sounded like you just like set it on.
You know what? Yeah, it might be because I'm in a bad. So in New York, I don't know if everybody knows. Anyone who lives in New York knows how it is. If you live in a brownstone, it is the fucking the brownstone is very difficult
to get service. We got it. We can hear you now though, but finish your statement. I can hear you now. You good?
Hear me now? Open the doors. Open the doors.
Bet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So the public offender is my favorite channel ever. I love this nigga. But yo, sometimes you be doing some stuff. Sometimes I'm like, because you know why? On our side as a band, I'm sorry for my sore throat. Like I said earlier,
you good, man. You good, extra. Let's get to it, man. I got you. My throat fucked up too.
I was at Nigerian parties for the last 3 days, so it's very difficult for me to talk.
Sound like you just came back from one, but you good. Keep going.
Yeah, I just came back from one right now. So I will say this: everything that public offender is actually correct. 85% of it. There's a little bit of it that's not correct, but I will say this. He is 100% correct when he says, at the end of the day, the entire community is in failure because of us as men, period. We fucked up in our leadership and all of that. At the end of the day, it all starts with us. There's no doubt about that 100%. So all of you guys who are listening to this, and all of you niggas who listen to all those little bullshit red pill niggas on what that fucking shit called?
YouTube? Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, Fresh and Fit and all that shit. All of y'all bitch ass niggas.
Hey.
Let me tell you something. You say something about public offender? Public offender understands something. When we were kids, we understood that little moment where that separation between men and the teaching that men give other men, right? Fresh and Fit is trying to fill a space where a whole bunch of single mothers, they have their sons and their daughters, whatever. Fresh and Fit is trying to fill a space that is not, that they should not be able to fill. Because those guys, we got two nerd guys, one guy who's gay and one guy who's a bitch-ass, ugly-ass nigga. And he's trying to fill a space to teach all of you men something that is not there. When it actually belonged to me, public offender. Because you understand, public offender, myself, and Almost Jesus. Not Almost Jesus, what was his name?
Basically.
What's his name?
Basically Black Jesus?
Basically Black Jesus. We are a very special group of men. The top 20% of men that most women are attracted to. That's it.
But the rest of the men are men that women are not really attracted to like that. So they're the ones who are controlling the social media space. They're controlling that.
Who controlling that? The ugly niggas?
Yeah, the ugly niggas, nigga. That's what I'm talking about. So when I listen to you, it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh because you know what it is.
Hey, he said the ugly niggas is controlling something.
You know what it is? And they're right here on your platform right now. Where did you find this dude?
Hey, man, I don't know what the fuck. This shit crazy.
Who said that?
Oh, Mello said that shit at the top, man.
Mello, listen very closely. Go look at my fucking pictures, nigga. I'm like this nigga, public offender right now. We pretty as fuck.
Hold on, man. How I get put into this, man? I don't want to be pretty, man. I'm good.
Me and public offender, we only people that could wear nail polish, and we good, nigga. So what are you talking about? we can do that. No, what we fucking talking about here? All the women that are listening to women who are on this platform right now, who listen to public offender, who listen to Black Guru, who listen to Moses, all of that. Public, this the pretty boy crew.
I don't know how I got put in there. I ain't even in it. My name Bennett. I ain't in it. I'm good.
Nasty, nigga. We talk nasty. We talk, rest in peace of my nigga Puff Daddy. Real time.
What? Hey, man, I hear the drink. Hey, hold on, man. I got to drop him, man. I hear the drink clinking in the back. That's diabolical. If I hear your drink, hey, that boy was doing like this with the drink in the back. The glass, you hear the ice. He up there. Hey, man, wait till you sober up, Extra H. Drink some coffee. Nah, man.
You said basically Black Jesus, because I think that was the dude who was on a panel saying that women shouldn't vote. Unless maybe I'm confused.
Oh no, I didn't hear him say it. I didn't hear him say it, but it was him. He would say it.
If I recall, because I'm like, I've just seen a few people on this app say like really like things like, oh, well, women shouldn't vote or something, and then I'm just like, okay, some misogyny, yay.
There's a lot. There's a good amount of. I mean, when I say a lot, it's more. Is one. That's a lot. I hear a man saying women shouldn't vote. That shit sound crazy to me.
I don't know, Pub. I ain't never heard Basic say that one.
I don't listen to that nigga. I wouldn't know.
I ain't never heard him say that. He didn't say,
I'm gonna double check because I may potentially, maybe he was in someone else's live and they said it, so I'm gonna double check. So I'm not gonna say 100% that he said it because I don't want to do that on anyone unless I know for sure.
Wait,
I thought he did.
If he didn't say it, he was on a panel and the person next to him said it and he didn't disagree. Like, I believe he would say that shit. Like, why wouldn't he say? Like, yeah, he would say that. He definitely would say that. No doubt about it.
See, I would say no because from what I heard, he just tried to preach marry before you carry. That's basically his biggest thing.
That's definitely not his biggest thing. Roke, what's good? Roach. Oh man, that was funny. I low-key did need a little bit of that. That was funny.
Hey, hold on. I tell you what's funny, Pub. I just your hair, the way it was down. You actually got hair like, you remember Special Ed?
Mm-hmm.
I got it made.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at that video, y'all got like the same kind of build and like features.
Hey man, y'all gotta. Hey, I love y'all, man, but stop flirting with me. I don't like that shit, man. I ain't gonna even hold you. Y'all some flirting ass niggas, man.
I ain't flirting with you, bro.
Hey man, some of y'all be flirting, man. I don't know. Leave that. Hey, let's go back to y'all disagreeing with me. I like that shit way better. Don't be up here talking about I look like niggas. You like a nigga. Hey man, nah, don't do that. I don't like that shit.
Hey, that's your boy Extra.
Saying niggas is beautiful and shit. I don't like all that shit. I'm like Dex with that. I don't like when men say that type of shit. I get uncomfortable. I don't like that. I like when y'all my adversaries. Yeah, everybody hear all that flirting and shit. I don't need none of that. Keep that shit to yourself. If you think I look like, I'd rather you bag on me and say I look like somebody. That's yeah, see, I don't like that type of shit. That shit catch me off guard every time. I don't like that. I like when y'all argue with me, man. That's what I like. I ain't gonna even hold you. And it's Black Jewel said he handsome tonight. They can't control themselves. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping, man. Yeah. All right. Hey, we did it.
Hang on. Hey, Nero, did you check what Yale said more recently about mortality?
What? You still on that?
No. I just want to make sure she kind of checked some more updated stats.
What the
Go ahead and check it out right now because I didn't know you had a source. So let me go check it.
What the updated stats say, Mello? Tell us.
It said that it's the biggest percentage is by heart disease.
Okay, but she didn't say biggest. She said that the greatest increase since the law was passed. You're missing.
No. She did. No. She did, Godzilla. So wait.
She said the leading cause.
Yeah, the leading cause
is actually heart disease.
Yeah, but I don't know about that one. I don't know. For pregnant women.
I was going to say, I'm also reading one here, an article by Yale Medicine from May 22nd, 2023 about maternal mortality. Let's see here. It just shows overall that it increased, especially in states that have abortion bans. I think that when it comes to the H word, I don't know if I can say that. I'm so hesitant on this app.
Me too.
I think it's up there with the other common causes of unaliving. But let me see if I can find an actual source that says the current rates, because all I'm reading right now is an article. So hold on 1 minute.
Maybe it's unnatural causes. I don't know.
Who's Black Jesus? I know Fresh and Fit. Is Black Jesus somebody famous enough?
No, not at all. He's just on the app. He don't. When he go live, it'd be 13 people in there. He be spitting on his phone. Yeah, you wouldn't know him. He on this side. You gotta know. You gotta be on black. You gotta be on black TikTok. Black debate talk. If you on black debate talk, he in there.
I'm on relationship TikTok, but I haven't come across him.
Yeah, you gotta to get to him, you gotta be in the black TikTok racist. All these apps are racist. You know what I'm saying? So it puts you, you know what I'm saying? It puts you in front of people that look like you. The majority of the time, I'm not saying all the time, you know what I mean? Obviously you saw me, whatever the case may be, but a certain level of people, I bet you see a bunch of YT men that have around the same following as basically Black Jesus, but they wouldn't put you in front of basically Black Jesus because he's black. And they'll be like, yeah, you might as well just like Trevor. We'll put Trevor in front of you. You probably know Trevor and, Chip, whoever, I don't know, whatever the white names are. That's how they do it. Trust me. I see it in my algo all the time. You gotta build your algorithm brick by brick, baby.
Take your word for it. My algorithm seems completely random. I get people in Thailand, Middle East, people who don't speak any English.
That ain't random. That's what you like. You just a random motherfucker. That's what it is. You think your algorithm. Look, you know how people say you are what you attract. I totally disagree with that bullshit. But you are what your algorithm says you are. If your algorithm says, if your algorithm is random as fuck, you a random motherfucker. You got ADHD or something like that, rampant. Go ahead, Nero.
It's all over the map.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all over the map. I'm on every TikTok. I'm all over from medical to science to neurodivergent to debate talk to I'm kind of everywhere, all over the place. And then random science facts, and people are like, what?
My wife was asking me about this song. She was kept singing this song. I was like, what the fuck? What song is that? She was like, you don't know that song? And I was like, no. And she was like, it's all over TikTok. And I was like, on your side of TikTok? I was like, that song has never been played on my TikTok. My TikTok is 90% black people. It don't matter what they talking about. It really doesn't matter if it's, to your point, I get some sciencey stuff, but it'd be Tyson. You know what I'm saying? It's him. I'll get some others. If it's a relationship coach, it's a black dude or a black woman. If it's a podcast, it's a black podcast. If they talking about football, it's black people. Like, my shit is black as fuck. My algorithm, first and foremost, the number one thing that ties it all together is black. That's the number one. That's the number one thing. The stuff that's on there, I get little here and there, whatever, but it's definitely about 80-90% black on there. Like, no doubt about it. But the topics, yeah, you're right. I do be getting like little random shit, here and there. But
mine's the whole rainbow, but it definitely started off SPF 1000 to AF. Everybody looked like me in the beginning, like in the very beginning, like the first few days, and then after a while they're like, mentally ill TikTok, neurodivergent TikTok, social justice TikTok, everything like that. Then all of a sudden it started like spreading me all over the place, and then science, random facts TikTok. But like, yes, when I first got on the app, it was very everybody kind of looked like my complexion and was very boring, and I was like, what is this? I don't think I'm gonna like this app. And then I luckily came across one video that luckily started to lead me away from that, which I was very fortunate, because I almost didn't continue using this app. So I was like, no. So whenever like men tell me all they see is like teenagers shaking their butt, I'm like, that's all you see on your For You page, huh?
I don't got none of that.
Interesting. And I'm like, if you're seeing that constantly, that's really telling.
Yeah, not on my TikTok. I don't got none of that shit. Hey, the name of the song is Pink Pony Club.
Oh yes, that's I can't remember her name, but I'm old, so that might be it. So.
Yeah, that was the song. I don't know nothing about that song. Never heard it in my life, but I guess it's I'm guessing it's viral. I'm pretty sure it got millions and millions and millions, but I don't know nothing about it. Yep, that's the person. Yep, Chapel's Roan or something. Yep, that's what my wife said. I remember that name because it was so weird.
That's usually on the LGBTQ TikTok, maybe more so, because I think that song's about, or maybe she has another song that's about.
She is.
I know you're late with your husband, and you're thinking of me, and so it's about a woman who,
Yeah.
I'm pan myself, but like, so I think it's about her regretting her choices perhaps in life and trying to live heteronormative life, and then not being her true self, or. It's a good song.
So did we ever get to the bottom of it? Because I think it was just, I think everybody's saying it's just the number one cause of women overall.
I mean, it depends, because this is the other thing that I'm running into right now. A lot of studies will only do it by natural causes, meaning like they won't even take in the H word or car accidents or things like that even, but they will take in like postpartum eclampsia. They will take in vascular, they will take in heart disease, they will take in all of those, right? But they will not take in outside factors. So it is difficult. So I will say that I see a little bit of both. But the one thing that I'm seeing a lot of is the studies that are stating it's from other causes don't even list the H word. So I'm trying to find something that lists them all and like has them side by side in a breakdown. So I don't want to say conclusively, but I know that a couple of years ago that was the leading cause. That doesn't mean it didn't shift the next year, right?
It could have.
That can happen too. Like the percentages can change, and it can become like the second or third leading cause of unaliving. Like right now, the leading cause of unaliving for children is pew-pew violence.
Yeah.
Which is disturbing AF as a mother. To know that my child is more likely to be pew-pewed than being a car. Like
it used to be car accidents though for a long time, but now it's pew-pews. Yeah.
Yeah, like that to me is just disgusting. But I know it will shift again a bunch of times as the years go on, as all statistics do. But I just want to know for sure and find a study that actually has them list by list, because I don't want to go by my bias. I don't want to go by my feelings. I want to go by the numbers and the data. So
yeah. I appreciate that, man. We tried. We couldn't get to the bottom of it. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming up, though. We in that solid third hour, man. We locked in 190,000 likes. We did it, Joe. I love it. I did. I appreciate you. We did. We had a great time. with them babies. We was rocking out Suburban. Y'all crazy as hell. That shit always. Nah, the party was early. I was in the bed, ducked off, 10 o'clock, snoring. I'm about to do the same thing tonight. I'm about to be in the bed. Yeah, super chill, man. Super chill. I appreciate everybody that hit the super chat. Love One, Miss Poetrix, Osa, B-Dub, Evie, Maud, Antoine, to Nigel, Intently. Appreciate y'all. She put some on that boy for being drunk online. Mello's PFP was the last time he saw that baby. Oh man. Intently Purposeful said, a baby is not an it, it's a human being. Oh, that's funny. A baby is not an it, the baby is human. That's right. That's right. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking out with your boy, man. We're gonna be back on tomorrow in the morning for anybody. Osa, I know you was saying that we got to get the schedule going. I'll be back on tomorrow in the morning.